Sequence in the building. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Jacob's in the building. How y'all feeling today? How are y'all feeling? How are y'all feeling? And welcome into the stream, y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Let me go over here real quick. Let me see. Reload. Let's see what's going on over here. There we go. Justin's in the building. Welcome in, y'all. Derek Bennett is in. Doing fantastic. Derek, welcome in. Steak, welcome in. Let's see, Count, appreciate you hopping in. Welcome in, y'all. Appreciate y'all joining the stream. If y'all are coming in for the first time, I would love to know where you're joining from. I would love to know if you make music, the kind of music that you make. I would love to chat for a little bit before we get into the music. Excuse me. Data's in the building. Cage, appreciate you being here. Welcome in. Master of Puppets is in the building. Welcome in. How are you feeling today? Let me open up this real quick. Richard is in here. Apollo, Janice, welcome in. Thank y'all so much for joining. Once again, let me know where y'all are joining from. If you make music, talk to me about the kind of music that you make. In the next 5 to 10 minutes, we will get started with listening to y'all's music. Everything is at the link in my bio. However, I will explain the whole live stream if that's helpful in just a couple minutes. But just give me a moment to get all of our different platforms up and running. Richard, thank you so much for the roses. I appreciate that a lot. Let me double check some things over here. Welcome in. Which has something new for you. It's good to clear the palate every once in a while, Derek. You gotta have a palate cleanser between hit records. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me double check a couple things here. Let me open up this last session real quick, and let's see. Now we're set. We're set. Beautiful. Love to see that. I got guitars on Unbreakable, and it sounds amazing. Let's go. I love to hear that. That we were talking about the 16th muteds, right? I think it's kind of what we were talking about. That makes me happy to hear that. Thank y'all for tapping in. Y'all, welcome in. Amazing. Strange is in the building. What's up, Strange? Welcome into the stream. Beautiful. Gorgeous. I'm so happy. Let me see. Metal Steel, I got yours, and thank you so much. That is always just really exciting to have when you find some musicians, and like what you have right now, like musicians and producers and vocalists that are like really in tune with what you're doing. They kind of know how to, how to execute within the lane that you have them in, and they do a great job, man. So it's been fun to hear your more recent music, just because it's so much more consistently in line with your vision, because you have people that understand it, which is so fun. I'm hoping to record some new songs in the next month or so for you to hear. Let's go, Richard. I love to hear it, man. Love to hear it. It's always an honor anytime we get a chance. Vincent is in the building. I can't even, I would love to. Unrest, I would love to hear it. Everything's at the link in the bio. If y'all want to submit, I'll explain the whole thing here in a second. I can't even listen to my old stuff much anymore. I mean, it's hard. Tommy, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. It's hard when you make a lot of music and you look back, and for one, if creatively you feel disconnected. Quality wise, you feel like you're in a completely different space. Like that, it's a hard thing as a creative, I think, to look back on old work and not have like some level of like creative regret, even though it's it's not that emotional sometimes. But you look back and you're like, why? What was it? Who was I? What was I doing? But I think that's a very authentic response. Because in so many different senses, you are a different person creatively. You are a different person stylistically, and just, you go through life. You know what I mean? Like the music that I wrote when I was 20 is very different than the music that I write when I was 30. You know what I mean? It's just it's a different world. Cole Key, welcome in. Everything's at the link in my bio if y'all want to submit. Thank you, TL Proxy, for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Don't spam the chat, but if you would like to submit, it's at the link in my bio. Let me see. Let me double check one thing real quick. I stole this guy's bassist from his band, and now his bassist is in my Master of Puppets. That's crazy. Strange, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate that. Okay, talk to me. What do you mean you stole a guy's bassist? That's wild work. Destruction Baby, welcome into the stream. I appreciate y'all being here once again. We're gonna chat for just a couple minutes here, and then I'll explain the live stream. If y'all are coming in for the first time, I would love to know just where y'all are joining from, where you're from. Talk to me about the kind of music that you make. Michael submitted like a week ago. I've been working. What's good? Michael's in the building. Michael, did you submit to the consultation side or the free lane? Let me know, just so I can go back and check for you and get you up in line if it's necessary. Juan is in the building. What's up, Juan? Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Welcome in. We're gonna dive into some music here in just a few minutes. Okay, got you. I got you. But it's good to see the name again, man. Thank you so much for tapping in again. I appreciate you hopping in. Not too worried about it. Yeah, the free line clears every single live. So it's a fresh slate. Now, if you submit to the consultation side, then those are saved and brought over just because people are paying for the consultation side. So I always make sure that we boost them and bring them back forward, so on and so on. If you're on the free line, that's cleared because we'll have anywhere from like 30 to 40, 50 people in the free line on a given day. So if we saved everyone that wasn't heard, which can be a big chunk, then over a couple days we'd have thousands, and that would get out of hand. Yeah. I can't bring free ones over because if we had, I think the other day we had like 40 something like that. The day before there's like 38. So even just saving a song for a day, you'd be number 76 now in line. It just wouldn't make sense. You would never get heard. You have a better chance of getting heard submitting fresh than you would be saving them each time. TL Proxy, I appreciate it. I do love this. I really like this progression. I mean, essentially, it's just a chromatic walk down, just moving between a couple different. I mean, we have a full step first, but just kind of walking back chromatically, which is fun. Boom. Do you see? Yeah, we get genres and languages all over the place. We get a ton of different variety, ton of different styles and genres, and you're 100%. Welcome from Portugal. I appreciate you being here with Portuguese pop music. Let's go. That's amazing. Welcome in. I appreciate you tapping in. Y'all do me a huge favor. Make sure y'all are tapping the screen. Share out the live with a few people. Don't forget to send your heart me for the day. It does really help out. The live stream quite a bit. Lion, thank you so much for the follow. Got you, Richard. Got you. No pressure at all, man. No pressure at all. We'll get flowing here in just a second. I'm just waiting for the other platforms to catch up here just really quick, and then I will explain the whole live stream. We'll dive into the details of it. Let me just make sure that I have all of this updated on my other set over here as well. Jada's in the building. What's up, Jada? Welcome in. I hope you all are having an amazing day. Daniel Kearney's in the building. What's up, Daniel? So good to see you. Appreciate you tapping in. Ablar, welcome in. Let me see. Just make sure I've got this one through over here. Let's see. Henry's in the building. What's up? Rigo, appreciate you tapping in. Yeah, we're good. We're good over there. Let's see. Y'all keep tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. We'll get rolling here with the submissions here in just a moment. I'm just making sure that these are all updated over here, and then we'll get rolling. I'll explain the whole structure of the live stream, and then we will dive into your music. Okay, give me just, let's see, 30 seconds. Annalie, welcome in. I appreciate you being here. How are you feeling today? Thanks for tapping in. Link in my bio. I'll explain it, and I'll explain the whole live in a second. But if anyone wants to submit their music, it's at the link in my bio for either line. We do have 2 lines, but I'll explain that in like 20 seconds. Morrow is in the building. Beyond the Morrow, welcome in. Okay, I think Isaac, welcome in. Jenna's in the building. The family, welcome in. Shannon Seals, welcome to the stream. I appreciate you being here. Let's see, and Alice, I got you. Thank y'all so much for the submissions. I really appreciate it. All right, let's see what's going on. And Henry, I see you as well. Thank you so much as well. I see there's a double for you, so I'm going to remove one of those. And good to see you. Appreciate you tapping in. I think there's a double submission of the same song, so let me just make sure that's not the case first. Yeah, there's a double there. Let me know, really quick, Henry, just in that free line there. Let me know if that's like a two different files or two different sessions or something there, or if it is just a double of the same song, so I can just remove one of them, makes it a little bit easier, keep everything nice and clean. That way, I can just make sure everything is on the same page. Nicole is in the building. What's up, Nicole? Welcome in. Can't stay, but wanted to share it out. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that so much. No, you're totally good, Henry. Let me just remove one of those. Let me just remove one of those, and then we'll dive in. Let's see. Let me get this one removed. That way we only have one on there and you're set and you're ready to go. Beautiful, beautiful. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the stream, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into the stream. Let me refresh over here, make sure that we are set. It won't let you purchase coins online. That's unfortunate. That's annoying. I'm sorry that that's happening. Sorry that that's happening, Jenna. That there's a lot of, obviously, when dealing with a lot of technology and stuff like that, there's a lot of frustrations that come with that. Yeah, that's annoying. Let me see. Shay, I think it's Shaya Renee. I can't see the name from this far. Shaya Renee, thank you so much for tapping into the scream. The scream. Thank you for tapping in the scream. The stream. I can't talk. Thank y'all for joining us. I really appreciate it. But let's get into some music, y'all. Thank y'all so much. Henry. Okay, Heath. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Excuse me. Yeah, it is weird. Marcus Gunner's in the building. What's up, Marcus Gunner? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tapping into the stream today. We are just kicking off the stream. Welcome in, Alice, Matthew. Thank you for joining. I appreciate y'all being here. Sounds good, Matthew. I appreciate you so much for joining, man. Welcome in. Welcome in. Marcus, good to see you. For those of you who have never been here before, welcome to Track Talk. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the family. I appreciate you being here so much, for spending some time out of your day to, listen to some great music, network, learn something, collaborate with people, whatever it may be. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank y'all so much for joining. If you've never been here before, let me kind of explain the structure of the live stream and what we do and why we do it. There are two lanes for you to submit your music in. There is a free line. That free line, I need everyone to understand this, even though it does say it in the notes. The free line is up to 2 minutes of your song and a quick note at the end. So again, up to 2 minutes of your song, quick note at the end. We have another line that is the paid line. That's the consultation line. Now, the consultation line is a 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, deep dive consultation into the structure of your music. Over that multiple times through your song, your beat, your production, whatever it may be, over that 20 to 30 minutes, we are going to dive into your mix and master, production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting, so on and so on. That is not a quick review. There is no trash or pass. There's no ratings. There's no polls. That consultation is a long form deep dive into what you are doing, both creatively and practically within the structure of your music. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist, so a lot of the structure of the live and a lot of the perspective of the live is from that perspective. Like I said, I'm not here to trash you. I'm not here to roast you. I'm not here to tear you down. I'm not here to hype you up. I'm not here to get you exposure. If that happens, fabulous. If the algorithm kicks off and fun things happen for you exposure-wise, amazing. I love that. That's just not my priority. It is not the way that we've structured the stream. The priority is to offer as much value and as much professional and specific and actionable feedback on the structure of your music. We are live on 3 platforms right now. 3 platforms right now. Warren, I got yours. Thank you so much for the submission. We're on 3 platforms right now. If you are on TikTok and you would like to send in your music, you can go to the link in my bio. If you go to the link in my bio, you will see the way to submit for both of those lanes right there, whether the free line or the consultation side. That is also the exact same link that you can check the line. So if you want to see the queue, the order, the line, where you're at, decide if you want to skip forward or go faster, anything like that, it is all at the link in my bio. If you are on the purple app and you would like to submit, you can type !submit and the link will present itself to you. If you're on the red app that we are also live on, you can go to the description of the live stream and you'll see the link right there. It is all the same link, all leads to the same submission process. You will not submit your music in the chat. You can't just spam the chat and you'll get heard. You have to go through the process, get in line with everyone else, and we will listen to y'all's music. Eric, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining the stream. Let me refresh really quick and let me get into the lines here, and let's go ahead and kick it off. Tiana, thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate that a lot. Many phones can't see the links. If you are having an issue seeing the link on TikTok, it is usually a regional or device issue. So if that is the case, then go over to my Instagram. It's the exact same name, or you can go to Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, any other platform. Look up Torvik Music. I'm the same name everywhere, so it's very easy. Look up Torvik Music. You'll see the same link in my bio, same link on my profile, and you can always find the submission process through there. TikTok is interesting where sometimes there is kind of a random, there's kind of a random regional issue with who can see the link. When you go to that link, Lucy, you can see the line there as well. I don't like telling people the line currently just because as soon as I say that, I already know Matthew's right here in the chat. As soon as I say that, someone's like, oh, and like, boom, I just got one. Like Richard just sent it. Richard, I appreciate you. So I'll be like, yeah, we got 2 people here. And as soon as I say that, I see 4 submissions come in. So what I just said is now wrong because it happens all the time. So I don't like to tell people that's why you can access the queue. Just go to the same link that you're submitting. Producer Drew, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate that a lot. Anyways, let me double check a few things real quick and we're about to dive in. I know Matthew is coming in really quick. Yeah, dude, of course, Marcus. In fact, there's an artist that I'm mastering for here very, very soon. Actually starting this week, I'm going to be doing a master for them. And they, I've probably heard their song like 8 times. I've probably done it like 8 times. And so that is up to you. That is up to you. Send in what you feel like is valuable. That to me, I won't determine that for you. I'm not here to pressure or anything. If you feel like it would be valuable to send something in again, send it in again, man. There's songs that I've literally heard 8, 9, 10 songs. Y'all know Shane. Some of y'all know Shane Paul. Some of y'all know A10 Music. I've heard variations of their songs and revisions on their songs many different times. But let's get into it, man. We got some music. Alone. Daniel's another one. I have nothing against that at all. I mean, that's what I do day to day anyways. You know what I mean? Like when I'm working through projects. Jesse, thank you for the follow. And producer Drew, thank you so much for all the Go Populars, man. That means more than you know. Thank you so much for your generosity. Y'all give it up for producer Drew. Drop him a follow as well. Appreciate you so much. Absolutely. Marcus with the Galaxy as well. Come on. Marcus, appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Thank you for the love and for the generosity, man. That's absolutely wild. 100% Marcus. Yeah. I had someone send like a 5-song EP once. We were at the end of the live. Someone came in at the very end. They dropped 5 songs. Yeah. Literally whatever you want to do, whatever would be valuable to you, whatever you feel like would be, something that would be of value. Absolutely, man. I'm going to listen to whatever's on these lists right here in front of me. And whatever, if that's all Marcus songs and it's all Marcus songs, I don't necessarily care. Marcus, I appreciate you so much, man. Drop a follow to Marcus as well. Producer Drew, Marcus, thank you for the love. Thank you for the generosity. Y'all are amazing. Very, very soon, I'm trying to figure out what I want to get, but very, very soon, I'm going to buy an instrument specifically for the studio just for y'all if you send in gifts. If you send in big gifts like a Galaxy or more, then we'll get your name on like an acoustic guitar here in the studio or something like that. So I want to do something like that soon. Just to, obviously y'all are so generous with not only your time, but your resource. I appreciate it a lot. So I want to make sure, that we have like something here in the studio on the walls in the Obsidian Key studio that that honors y'all that are being so generous. About to lose it, and go ahead and listen to my song and go back. Okay, got you. I got you. Let's run it. Yeah, if you want to watch it on YouTube, I got you, man. Richard, thank you for your generosity, man. Let's get into it. This is Richard Taggart, Torn, the unplugged version. This is another, I'm already reading through this, so I'm going to keep this flowing here. And then Matthew, I got you as well. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that a lot. Let me get these real quick. Let me get these in the right space here. All right, beautiful. This is another recording from my new album that was recorded on my phone, hence the poor quality. The song is just a basic heartbreak song meant to be felt by the listener. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. This is Torn, the unplugged version by Richard Taggart. Let's dive in. And just so y'all know, Richard is potentially going to lose some internet here in a moment, so he might not be able to respond or give us more details. This is all recorded on the phone. It's going to be very simple, very raw, very dry, which is awesome. He's an amazing artist. We're about to get into some of the details here, but keep in mind that these are very, very raw. These are unplugged versions as he has here on Spotify, but they are released to distribution. So if you would like to stream the song, you can go like it, you can go add it to your playlist, you can go stream it, so on and so on. Follow on DSP. So on and so on. Richard, if I'm not mistaken, I know you might be losing internet, but I'm pretty sure in the last like two or 3 days that I haven't seen or heard your music, I think your monthly listeners have almost doubled. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm like, I try to do a good good job of trying to remember things. I want to say the last time you came in, you had like high 300s or maybe low 400s, and now you're at like 755 and growing, which is awesome. If I am remembering that correctly. Vadim, welcome in over on the Purple app. I see you. Thanks for tapping in. And Lucy, thank you for the follows. I appreciate that a lot. Link in my bio. If you want to submit, link in my bio. You can, your monthly listeners have almost doubled. Richard, that's amazing, man. Congratulations. That's awesome. Just keep pushing. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing. I think, like you said, the live stream stuff has been helping you out a lot. That's very exciting, man. Shout out to you. Like literally, I think in the last like 2 days, I've seen Richard's monthly listeners go from like high 300s to about like 755, which is fabulous. That's awesome, man. So fun. If you want to submit, link in my bio. Everything's at the link in my bio. But let's dive in. This is Torn, the unplugged version by Richard Taggart here in the chat. Let's run it. Sounds good, Drew. Sounds good. I appreciate y'all. I'll double check the lines as soon as we get through this. I want to hear the first line again. Let me back it up. Focus.
Look out the window, what do I see? A pretty girl standing there looking at me.
Marcus, I got you as well. Thank you, man.
On this Chevy, just roll on away. My heart wants to go back, but I know I can't stay. I can't play the games that she plays all the time. The strain that she puts on my mind. I try so hard to do my part. She just throws it away. But it's up and it's down and it's been all around. She left my heart torn. I look in the mirror and what do I see? A broken man standing there looking at me.
Always love your lyrics, man.
In his eyes and
Thank you for the follow.
fall. The pain that she caused me sure wasn't small. I can't play the games that she plays all the time. The strain that she puts on my mind.
I would love to. Link in my bio if y'all want to submit.
Hard to do my part. She just
Yeah, 100% Marcus. Spies, good to see you. Thanks for tapping in.
it's down, it's been all around. She left my heart torn. I look at my phone and what do I see? A text that says I miss you.
Programmer, if you want to submit, type !submit in the chat on Twitch.
Set down the phone and walk on away.
It's not going to be a rating. It's going to be a super, super deep dive in your music if that's what you want.
Me another day.
Let's go, Richard.
I can't play the games that she plays all
Thank you for the follow. I appreciate that.
the strain that she puts on my mind. I try so
Always great
hard
songs,
to
always great
do
structure.
my part. She just throws it away. It's up and it's down, it's been all around. Yeah, she left my heart torn. Yeah, she left my heart torn.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Y'all show some love to Richard Taggart in the building. Boogeyman, welcome and appreciate y'all being here. Just quick reminder, if you are on TikTok and you would like to submit your music, everything is at the link in my bio. You can get yourself, in line right there, either for the deep dive paid consultation side or the free line, which is an up to 2-minute listen and a note. If you are on the Purple app and you want to submit, type !submit, and the link will present itself to you in the chat. If you're on the Red app, it's all in the description of the live stream. It's beautiful, 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 beautifully done. Richard Taggart, who again might be in and out of service, we'll do our best to communicate throughout the course of this, but it might not be possible. They said they'll watch the VOD back on YouTube. Quick reminder: the VODs are always on YouTube on the Track Talk playlist, Track Talk live stream playlist. But always has amazing song structure. Torvik Swipe Hideable 2026. Time mine. I appreciate your presence in the chat, man. Thanks for tapping in. Amazing, always amazing songwriter, always amazing structure here. Actually love the little warm, untuned guitar too. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that. Here's the thing. I think context matters, and I think if too many, because I do agree that there's something endearing about the rawness of that, Marcus. Obviously, for those of you, if you heard what's happening here, this is an iPhone voice memo recording, right? That was just uploaded as an unplugged version to Spotify. To me, context matters, right? Now, to me, is strategies to having like really like authentic, natural, organic tone, and strategies to how consistently that's executed. And that's where I think we have to be really careful, is if too many things feel too like kind of like off color, like too many things feel like it's not lined up or it's not polished enough, then it can just start to sound like we're missing pieces to the puzzle, right? Now, there's some strategies. So like one is like, if you're recording, like every once in a while, I'll do like electric guitar, like lo-fi, like sample, like you can just do it with like clean guitar and stuff like that. And oftentimes just barely, I'll detune the G string just a little bit. If you detune that just a little bit, you can get this like nice natural chorusing. And especially once you add in some other modulation and stuff, you can actually strategically detune instruments in very particular, ways in order to get, the requested or, the required sound for the record, right? So I'll do that sometimes on electric guitar. The only thing that I would say here is it sounds like a couple things are kind of happening at the same time. One, the guitar being out of tune. Just, string to string, a little bit out of tune. And then also out of tune within its entire pocket, right? So like when I was going through some of the chords here, yeah, dude, it's super fun. It's super fun. When I was going through the chords here, one of the things I was trying to do is this song is no longer kind of able to add other instrumentation unless you are, unless you are able to like detune everything else as well, right? Like if they wanted to add a piano to this track, or if they wanted to add a couple other layers in here and add a cello over the top or a fiddle over the top with like a cajon underneath it, then it would be really challenging. Sarah, thank you for the follow. It would be very challenging to add an instrumentation to it because they all are going to require detuning as well. So what I like about doing very specific and intentional detuning is you can really just decide everything else is, we're going to still play this in C major, but we're going to detune like, the B string and the G string in order to create this chorusing or create this kind of interesting modulation while keeping everything else, fairly in tune, right? The other would be making sure, I struggle with this sometimes too, because I get lazy with my guitars. That's my problem is sometimes, I have a couple different electrics. So sometimes one of my electrics will sit there on the rack, on the wall, or on whatever you call it, the mount on the wall. It'll sit up there for like 3 months without me touching it. And then all the strings go bad and I haven't set it up in a while. And so like when I move around the fretboard as well, because there's warping in the fretboard, or in the neck, it'll also create detuning naturally as well. It'll start to get sharp the higher I go. There'll be bowing and stuff like that. That's where it can be frustrating, right? And so here's what I would say loosely, and then Richard, of course, this is, you can take this or not take it. This is to each their own, of course. If I were to do a stripped down version, in my mind, even if it's literally an iPhone microphone, in my mind, I would try to make that stripped down thing as good as possible, right? Just because it's simplified and stripped down doesn't mean you still don't want some level of cohesion between what's happening there. I think I use one of my cheaper guitars, 100%. And again, zero things wrong with that. The acoustic that I use all the time, the one right there on the ground, that little guy, because I don't have a stand for it right now. The one that's sitting on the ground right there while I'm trying to redo the studio in here. That thing's like $170 or like $200 or something like that. It's a cheap acoustic parlor guitar. It's a Gretsch. Gretsch makes some great stuff and it's pretty and I like it. It sounds great, but it is a cheap guitar. It doesn't hold tuning incredibly well. And I do have to be conscious of how straight the neck is, right? Because if I don't, then even if I just like capo up, all of a sudden I'll tune it perfectly and I'll capo up 4 frets and the whole thing's out of tune again, right? Or I'll just be playing some some bar chords and try to do like an open strum on like a B major chord a little higher in the fretboard, and all of a sudden it's all out of tune again. So if you're going to use a cheaper guitar, whatever, might potentially happen there, depending on what you're using, before you're going to do like, okay, I am going to record the song, even if it's simple, even if it's an iPhone recording, it's a voice memo and you're going to upload it to platforms, make sure that it's at least set up, make sure that it's at least in tune, or, maybe a little bit more intentional with the kind of tuning that you're going to use there. That alone, I think, is just going to make it more palatable for people to hear it, right? The other thing that I would say, again, I don't know how you're recording these necessarily. The other thing that I would say is, as with any microphone, your positioning matters a lot too, right? Just as an example, in this case, the acoustic is the vast, and again, I'm saying all this, it's not like these are like wrong things, right? This is an iPhone recording. It's not supposed to be, this is not a polished record with like a 251 and a 1073. We're not doing that. We're not trying to do that. Even if you're recording with this, right? The positioning of that microphone, this microphone, matters, right? So what I would say is, if you're going to record with your phone, and you're going to be playing acoustic guitar here, right? These are like open strumming patterns, pretty well projected, right? And a lot of lower register from the vocal, especially early on. I would position the mic higher, closer to your vocal, right? If I set it down on a chair low in the same kind of, level of the acoustic guitar, the body of the acoustic guitar, I'm mainly going to pick up that acoustic guitar. All I need to do is like lift that up another 12 inches, 18 inches or so, and it will bias some of that, recording capture towards the vocal a little bit. And that can be really helpful, right? Even just like subtle things where like, yeah, this is unplugged, this is raw, this is basic. I'm not trying to do a fully produced record here, but what I am doing, I still want to be like legible to people and palatable to people. So even though I'm not going to put all this effort in a bunch of other stuff and setting up preamps and interfaces and stuff like that, I am going to I'm going to, stack some books on the chair or whatever you're doing, right? Stack some books or put it on like an iPhone stand, right? An iPhone, like a cheap tripod off of Amazon, and have it a little bit higher up so the capture biases towards your vocal a little bit more. So we definitely get some clarity and some projection from that vocal a bit more. But all that being said, I mean, those are just ways that you can polish like a really raw record that you're recording straight from your phone. But the songwriting, as always, the structure, the early introduction of those chords, as always, is absolutely fantastic. So once again, show some love to Richard. The song is called Torn. It's out on all platforms, so please go stream it, go show it some love. But let's run it from the top. I think I already addressed the majority of what I want to address on this, as far as, tuning, neck setup, make sure there's no bowing, and maybe changing the iPhone's position to bias that capture towards your vocal. So we're not just getting a bunch of acoustic guitar and then barely hearing the voice. Being, of course, in my opinion, the vocal being one of the most important parts of this, the storytelling, the message is really what I want people to grab onto. I think that's why you're going to become successful. So I want to make sure that there is a small bias at the very least towards that. Let's run it from the top.
Look out the window, what do I see? A pretty girl standing there looking at me. The wheels on this Chevy just roll on away. My heart wants to go back, but I know I can't stay. I can't play the games that she plays all the time.
Yeah.
Strain that she puts on my
My hope is to get that Volt 2 soon, and my next round of recording songs will be 100%. It'll make such a big difference. I mean, here's the thing. The more control you have, the more ability you have to shape things, right? So even if it's not a fantastic microphone or a fantastic interface, a lot of my early interfaces either like came free with DAWs, or one of the early ones that I had was this like MC 102 or 101 or something like that from Behringer. It was a $38 interface, one of my first early interfaces. I think it was the first one that Behringer came out with. And it was noisy and it was terrible. And it was kind of a nightmare to deal with because the preamps were so noisy and the cheap mic that I had at the time was so noisy. Like it's not necessarily about like how how fantastic these elements are and these tools are. So much of it is just regaining some control, right? So recording with the iPhone, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I use an iPhone in recordings. Just a random tip for y'all every once in a while. Sometimes I will turn on this phone to record when I'm tracking drums, and I'll just put it, back behind the drums, just literally on the floor, or even like next to me next to the drum throne, and I'll put it on the floor, and I'll just hit record and have like a mono smash mic, and then I'll take that audio from the drum recording session live there in the room. Sounds terrible, it's supposed to, and I'll just like run it through a distressor and some distortion, and I'll just slam it, and then like pipe it into the mix, and to give it this like kind of this grit and this texture in mono that maybe the overheads aren't getting. There's weird things that you can do with interesting methods of recording that are not, they're good, they sound good, like they fit the structure of the song. And so anyways, that's, my early stuff was not good, but it gave me more control. And so I think you just getting an interface alone, even just like a cheap, basic, simple interface, just gives you more control back, right? You're like, oh, now I can turn up the acoustic and down the vocal. I can brighten the acoustic. I can control the dynamics of the vocal. It'll give you a little bit of control back. Are there any others that I can plug my guitar directly into in my USB mic? So the USB mic, so you'll get, if you're recording with an interface, the USB mic. Yeah, so we're talking. So they were talking about the Volt. We've talked a little bit back and forth on getting a Volt Solo or Volt 1 or Volt 2, which are $130, something like that. And you can get them used. You can get used Scarletts. There's a bunch out there now. There's a lot of cheaper interfaces now. Those are going to be USB-C, so you can plug them directly into your phone or an iPad or obviously your computer. Most people are recording them into the computer. If you have a USB mic, you would just be recording that separately into the computer later or into your phone later, or you would have an XLR connection to the interface. That'd be the only thing that you need. Remind me of the mic again really quick. Is it the Fifine? Do you remember like the model of it, or do you have it close to you? I can look it up for you. A lot of USB mics, maybe not a lot of them, but some USB mics have both an XLR and a USB output so that you can do both. So if you want to use it as a condenser mic that you plug into the interface, you can. But I can look it up for you really quick if that'd be helpful. But yeah, let me get a little deeper into the song here.
I try so hard to do my part. She just throws it away. But it's up and it's down and it's been all.
Okay, so I can just tell you the first thing that popped up, right? I can tell you the first thing that popped up. So the first one that popped up is it's like a rectangular, like kind of square microphone. It's the Fifine dynamic microphone for podcasting and recording. It has like lights on the bottom of it, like the RGB lights at the bottom, and it comes on like a little stand. Is that it? I know they have a lot now. It's like $60, $50. But it's like almost looks like a squared off SM7B. I'm wondering if that's the first one that pops up on. Let me see. That is definitely the most popular one. Mine is a cylinder. Okay, there's another one. It's like $50. But okay, so here's what I'll say. Does yours have lights in like the middle of the microphone? Got it as a Christmas present? Let's go. I love that, dude. I love that. So there's that dynamic one. Does it have like lights like this part right here? Like this part, does it have like lights that come through that kind of? It doesn't have lights. Okay, so I'm pretty sure, because there's like the bestseller, most popular one, I can see on here is like $50. It's a dynamic microphone, kind of like an SM7B, but it's like $50 and it doesn't have lights. I'm assuming loosely that that's the one that it is, like kind of assuming. If it is, because it's one of two of their most popular ones. It's cylindric and it doesn't have lights. Just putting my detective hat on here for microphones. If it is that one, which I'm kind of assuming it is, it has USB and XLR. So what that means is obviously you could do USB straight into your phone, but you can also just get an XLR cable, just get like a 6-foot XLR cable, and like this, right? That will connect straight from this into the interface. So both your guitar and the XLR will go into the interface. That way you can have them go direct, and you'll be able to plug them in directly from there. You don't have to use USB anymore, which is better, which is going to be better for you. Capricorn, thank you for the heart me. I appreciate it. That will give you better quality and more control anyways. So what I would probably do is, if you do look in the direction of getting an interface like a Volt 2, where you can have the guitar in there, all you just need is it doesn't matter the brand, get something cheap. It doesn't matter. I've had Mogamis and crazy cables and stuff like that. And I also have a ton of like cheap stuff. I've had some middle tier like Hosas and stuff like that. Like, you know, I have a good chunk of cables from them. There's a couple others that I have. I can't think of the name right now, but I've gotten from, you know, Sweetwater and, you know, wherever, you know, other places like that. But there's so many. I mean, I have 400 cables in this studio everywhere. There's so much routing. Yeah, I mean, it'll come with its USB-C. I wish I had it it's in the other room. I don't have it with me right now. I could just show you exactly. Well, no, I don't want to do that because I'd have to take down this thing on the wall over here. Anyways, I'll show you another time. I'll send you a picture. But yeah, it'll come with the USB-C. So the USB-C would go into your computer or your phone or iPad or whatever you're able to record with. It might come with, I think it comes with a power cable as well. So if you can't power it with, like, if you want to use it with your phone, my mic is not USB. No, this mic is XLR. It's not a USB microphone. Hold on, let me see this here too. Microphone detective, yeah. So you'll get the USB-C, and then you'll get the power so that you don't have to draw power from the device. You can self-power it as well. For Richard, I got you. That makes more sense. I was like, no, this one's not. The other will be, you just need an XLR, and I've got 1,000 of them here. I got so many of them. Oh, here. Yep, there's another one over here. I got them everywhere. Let's see. And then you need literally this right here. Is this 6 foot? Yeah, this is 6 foot. And then you just need this. Yeah, then you just need this. This is an XLR cable. This is going to go focus. Doesn't want to. Come on, whatever. It doesn't want to focus. You get the idea. But you just need one of these. This is an XLR, male to female here. 6 foot XLR. That's all you need. Just get one of those. You can probably find a single for like $8, or you probably find a 2-pack on Amazon for 15. You know what I mean? Like there's some cheap ones, and that's all you need. If down the road you want to expand, you always can. Like at this point, I have so much stuff in the studio that like I just get given stuff. Like someone's like, hey, like, you know, this like uncle of mine, he's like giving away all these like old cables because they're moving. They don't want to have to deal with them. And I'm like, sure, I guess I'll take them. Ends up like another 20 XLR. I just have so many cables in here. It's ridiculous. They're everywhere. I've turned into a Neutrik snob, mixed by Sam. I have a patch bay coming into, and it's a Neutrik, the NYS SSPs. Those are, they're adjustable, obviously, so you can flip through normaled, half normaled, and like isolated. And they're all Neutrik too. And when I was like in studio, that's a lot of what we were using was, I mean, there was some Mogami, sure. Like there's some of that stuff, you know, the lifetime warranty is great and whatever, but we would make a lot of cables in studio. That was the fun part. Making Daniel, thank you for the TJ Spids. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the gifts. We would make a lot of cables. So we would just buy 500 feet, you know, we'd buy like 100 feet of cable. We would buy 100 feet of cable, and then we would just chop it up into whatever length we needed for the studio. So it was all exact. It was all like really specific, you know, cable runs. And then we'd strip it, and we just would buy a box of old Neutrik connectors and stuff like that, and then solder them in. I mean, that's how I got my start in audio engineering, was like learning to solder and learning to like make my own cables and stuff like that. It's great. I've been meaning to build my own patch bay to extend my 18920 IO, so it's flush with my flight. Yeah, it's one big back panel. Look at the Neutriks. I mean, the Neutriks are great. It's pretty shallow. It's pretty shallow, which, you know, that's if that's not what you're looking for and you want something that's going to be a little bit more flush, that obviously could potentially be helpful. But the Neutriks are great and they're cheap. They can be annoying because if you want to switch normaling, what's up, Jordan? If you want to switch like normaling to isolated, or, you know, I think for theirs it's like half normal split and isolated. If you want to split between those so that you can just route directly down, like I'm going to have that for my console when I get it in. That's going to be just routed directly, so I don't need to patch anything. So that's, you know, that's kind of beneficial. But if I want to switch those, you have to literally take everything off. undo the front, which is not that hard. It's not, people kind of complain about it. It's like, dude, it takes 45 seconds. Take off the front panel and like flip the actual Neutrik connector in there, which, whatever, that's the Samsung one is like a little bit cleaner. You just like flip a switch and that's easier, but it's also like $40 more expensive. So anyways, for like $110, I have 2 of them and they're fine. All TTS get like a 96 unit TTS, like all like tiny, like the Soundcraft ones are crazy. Like the Soundcraft, like 96 TTS is the one of the studios the studio that I did like most of my training in. It was his home. It was independent, engineer, and he had like a double wide that he outfitted as a crazy studio. And anyways, he had like 4 bays in there. And it was just a cabling mess. It was so crazy. The labeling was nuts. Like I feel like half of what I did in there sometimes was like trying to just like help him correct things. He's like, hey, today we're learning how to relabel a patch bay. spend an hour relabeling patch bays. I was like, I guess I'm learning. But anyways, okay, Richard, let's get back into it. We're off the rails. We're off the rails. Jason, thank you for the follow too. Let's run it back. Adonis, good to see you in here. Appreciate you tapping in. We had 4 128s. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. I have 2 48s and it's a different world. All right, let's run it. But yeah, all you need, Richard, for that next level, keep the microphone that you have. It is so easy to spend more on music. It's so easy. Don't feel like you need to. Like you can always spend more money later if you want to spend more money later. Just get started. Just gain control over your sound. That's all you got to do. Gain control of your sound. Give yourself some autonomy over what's happening in your instruments, and from there you can always upgrade. If you want to go from a $60 mic and a year from now you want to go to like an LCT 240 Pro for $100, you want to go to a Rode NT1 for 140 or something like that. If you want to go, whatever it may be, go up from there to a 440 Pure, you can. It's really, there's microphones from $50 to $40,000. Like it's very, very easy for you to spend more money in music. So just get started. So keep the fifing that you have and then just run it with XLR. I believe it's a dynamic microphone, so you don't need phantom power. If it is, I'll just have to double check the settings, and I can always, shoot me a message or ask me in the chat whenever you get them in. And I'm happy to help you out. If it is a dynamic microphone, then you don't need phantom power. But depending on a couple things, you might want an inline preamp for it. Because your gain, if it's a dynamic microphone, if it's not a condenser, the gain's going to be pretty low. You might want to get another 20, 30 dB out of it if you can. There are cheap inline preamps too. I have a bunch of them. I have nicer ones. I've had cloud lifters. I have a Triton Fathead that I use right now for my SM7B, which is a dynamic microphone, so I use an inline preamp to boost it. But I also have like a bunch of Clark Technics. There's a bunch of Clarks that I use that are 2-channel. Those are super cheap. They're like $25, $30 or something like that. And that will give you the gain that you need to get like the clarity and the sensitivity that you're looking for out of the dynamic microphone. But that's we can always walk down that road as we go. But what that'll allow is for you to use a dynamic microphone with an XLR with a lot more power behind it, especially with that interface. Those interfaces are fantastic. They're so good. Clark Technic is so good. I have their 1176. Yeah, they're awesome. They're awesome. And they're so cheap. It's essentially Behringer, but like they're so cheap. There's like, it's ridiculous. You can get a 76 for like $160. Like that's pretty hard to beat. And even like the cheapest like Clark Technic or even like a Lindell or something like that, those are going to sound better than any plugin. I'll have to check what everything is when I get home. Yeah, I got you, man. I got you anytime. Let me get to the outro of the song here really quick. But yeah, for me, structure is always good. Writing is always good. Now it's just, let's fine tune the details of one. If you're going to use a phone, even for creative decisions, I'm going to use a phone. I'm going to track that way just for some extra layering. Like maybe you record with the interface and you just throw the phone on the other side of the room to create like kind of an ambiance, a room environment. And you put a bunch of reverb on it and smash it. You can have some creative decisions like that. Just remember just like you remember where this mic is pointed, you make sure it's going towards where you want it to go towards. Do the same thing with your phone when you're recording with that as well. And keep in mind the source and keep in mind where it's pointed at. But let's get into the outro here really quick. Shout out to Richard. I appreciate you so much, man. So talented. Retrack, thank you for the heart, me. Good to see you in here, man. I hope you're doing amazing. DS, good to see you as well. Aftermath, I got you. Thank you for the push. I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well, man. I mean, it's great structure, man. It's good writing. I'm so excited for you, man. I cannot wait to hear. I can't wait to hear what you're able to do with a little bit more direct signal, with a little bit more control, a little bit better clarity. Once you get the interface, hook up the mic. Of course, I'll help you with that. You know, in any questions that you have, whether we're in the chat here or through a message if I can get to it. But man, please show some love to Richard. Richard, I love what you do, man. Obviously, such a talented songwriter. You're right on the edge of really moving into that next level and really going into a place where you have more control over your sound. And that's so exciting for me, man, because the talent is obviously there on the artistry side, the writing, performance. You're so talented, man. So y'all, please show some love. That is Torn, the unplugged iPhone version. It is out on all platforms. It's Richard Tagger. Go show it some love. Go stream it. Go like it. Go add it to your playlist. Go show it some love and support. Beautifully, beautifully done. Let's get into the next track here. Let's keep it rolling. We've got Matthew in the building. Matthew, drop in the chat. Let me know that you're here. I always just want to check in and make sure that I know who is present in the chat. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. We got Fool by Matthew. Time to say bye to the Ballad Boy song, starting off with my typical ballad type of song, but then switch and even go higher. Let's go. Matthew's in the building. Let's go. A quick reminder, if you would like to submit your music for a consultation, for a deep dive into your music, go to the link in my bio. You'll see everything that you need right there. You'll see 2 lanes. One is the free lane, and then one, of course, is the deep dive consultation side. So if that's what you're looking for, make sure you submit, and we'll get things flowing. This is Fool by Matthew. I believe it's unreleased, but let me know.
For me once, shame on you. For me twice, 'cause I'm
Demo.
the
Sounds good.
fool for believing every word you said, and nothing can it throw. Is it me or is it you? Spelling lies over the truth.
Adonis got you, man.
Better life is better, lost and toxic point of view.
It's dramatic. It's dramatic.
Silly me, I could have been so blind. Disbelieve, never not in doubt. Love and hate intertwined in my mind. How does someone get out of this? It's myself, opposing as someone else. Living life under your thumb, so wrong. Catch a breath, hanging on by thread for something out of my control. Forgiveness is what I for me once, shame on you. For me twice, 'cause I'm the fool.
Yeah. Remind me who does all of the production. Is it mainly you?
Nothing can it throw. Is it me or is it you? Spelling lies over the truth. I know better, life is better, lost and toxic point of view. So lie to me, whatever. Trust issues forever. I've been down in the dumps, but change is coming now or never. Turning tables on you, lost and found.
Okay, got you. Got you.
Never
Yeah.
letting it up
Cool.
me. Well, this is goodbye forever. Forgive me for about your choice.
Yeah, facts.
For me once, shame on you. For me twice, 'cause I'm the fool for believing every word you said, and nothing can it through. Is it me or is it you? Spelling lies over the truth. I know better, life is better, lost a toxic point of view.
Sounds good. Appreciate you.
I'm not sorry for living my own life. I am fearless in everything I do. I live life to the fullest of my dreams. In my own fucking truth.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Voice of the Galaxy, dude. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all show some love to Marcus. Appreciate you, man. Fantastic. Fantastic. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. Marcus Gunner, Bender in the chat. I got both of your submissions, of course, as well, man. Thank you for the love. Thank you so much for your generosity, man. I appreciate that so much. In fact, I'm going to apply that to you have a lower submission as well. I'm gonna apply that to your lower submission, man, so you can get a little bit of a boost with your second track as well. I appreciate you more than you know, man. It means so much. It means so much. Means so much. Let me add that in for you as well, man. It means so much, man. I got you. I'm adding at least 5. I'm adding at least 5 to that one, so we can give it something. We can give it something, man. I appreciate your generosity so much, man. We're gonna give me more in the vocal, Loki. Let's dive in. Let's talk about it. Let's get into the details. This is Matthew right here in the chat. Matthew official. Let's dive into it. Let's get into the details. Some things I'm curious if this was tracked near the time you tracked the other one, or just kind of in a similar vein. It's been around for just a little bit already. Because some of the things I would just apply to this one. So we talked about vocal separation. I love a good double on the vocal, but I do want to talk about one or two things on the processing side of that mono vocal. Like vocal separation could be nice and opening up that vocal mix, because right now, part of what I think is making it challenging for it to compete with the rest of the mix is the fact that we, again, have a very loud, vibrant, heavy production, snappy metal snares and double tracked rhythm electric guitars that are distorted, overdriven mix, right? And then your vocal, which is an awesome vocal, by the way. It's dramatic, it's punchy, it's projected well, but it still, I think, could benefit from some layers on the outside. Now, here's what on the same day, so all applies. Perfect. So we can kind of copy and paste over some of the things that we talked about. One of it being, vocal positioning. Now, in this style, I think it's still very typical, especially with a lot of like kind of classic rock artists that I've worked with too, which I get a little bit of out of that vocal. Not exactly, but some like 80s, 90s grunge rock and classic rock and stuff like that. You have this kind of very like compressed and just like vocally distorted, personally compressed, like with your own diaphragm, like high with a quick vibrato vocal as well. This, right? It's got a little bit of vocal compression. It's got a little bit of like natural vocal distortion, and you're getting some of that. You know what I mean? It's a little bit fried. It's a little bit open, but you have this higher vibrato too. Love that tone, but all of that is kind of collapsed. Excuse me. Don't do that. All that is kind of collapsed back down to the middle as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking for too, right? You get the idea, right? You have this great presence out of the vocal, but it's not presented open in the mix. I would still probably have a double of your vocal right next to it. You know what I mean? Like I would still have this vocal sitting next to it, and then I would maybe add in the harmonies to that vocal wide, right? So you might still want kind of like this. You might still want like a strong lead vocal and then a secondary vocal right next to it. 2% off of the lead, like you already have some doubles there, and then back in the mix 3 or 4 dB, and then have, some third note harmonies, some other stacks a little bit wider in the mix to kind of help you compete with the rest of the production there. I've written many times. I actually did these vocals on the same day, so all applies. I submitted a song, but if you're a tad too technical for where I am right now, you won't get to it anyways. Marv, that's not necessarily the way that it works here either. I will always make sure that whatever we're talking about is specific to the artist, right? So when people come in and they do understand some about vocal layering and they do understand, like they're working with good producers and session musicians, we can kind of communicate as so, right? And in this stream, we've had people literally send in voice memos of them humming a melody in a Starbucks booth, and they said, hey, can you like help me build chords over this? Are there any good melodies in here? Can we try to flesh it out a little bit? And we help them with like the basics of just like building their song and like building their song structure. Be like, hey, this is what's happening with your auto tune. Change this setting right here and it'll sound better. Like more like simple basic things if you're really, really early on. And then of course we've also had like Grammy winning producers and engineers and stuff like that in here too. And those people, we can go hyper technical and really get into the details of what they're doing, right? But don't feel just because with one artist or one producer or engineer that we're really diving deep into these specifics, that is how it's applied to everyone else as well. In fact, the last breakdown that we did was just talking about the benefits of separating audio and an interface and what cable they would need, right? That's a very different consultation than talking about vocal layering and positioning and panning and stuff like that, which will be very different from the next artist that comes in, you know? So don't feel, I don't want anyone to ever feel like insecure about coming in and be like, oh, I'm not even in a place for that. That's not why this live is not just it's not supposed to be just a hyper technical live, right? If people come in wanting that or needing that in their music, of course we'll dive into it, but I don't want y'all to feel bad about that. Okay, let's run it from the top. Fool by Matthew. Let's dive into some of the details, but yeah, I think you can maintain your doubles. I think we can also add in the width to bring in some more of the separation that I do think would be really beneficial to hear. It's a one-on-one masterclass. Whatever you need, this is for you. That's why it's a consultation, not just like a quick review. There's not a trash or pass. There's no ratings. I'm not just going to give it a poll and then move on. It's the reason why we call it a consultation is because it is quite literally a 20 to 30 minute consultation, depending on what you need and what would be valuable for you specifically to break this down. Okay, let's run it from the top. Let's run it from the top. Got you, Daniel. Appreciate you. I would love if you have a chance to either. Hold on. Can y'all hear me still? Let me know if you can hear me. I know this just froze up here, but give me a sec. Can you still hear me? Okay, you can hear. Perfect. Boom, and we're back. We're back. I think it was my cam link. Cam link went out for a minute here. We're back, Skins. Thank you so much for the confirmation. I appreciate it. Okay, good. We're back. Phew. There's so much that goes into all this random technology that's running everything. Anytime there's like a glitch, I'm like, fuck. Now, like, that's crazy. That's crazy. Let me test it real quick. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear this. No, I'm just playing. All right, let's get into it. Early melodies right here. I think I would do one of two things, right? I would make sure... Right. We have these like lead-in melodies right here. I think the more consistent you can get with these early melodies, the better. I got you, Nemo. One sec. So let me hear. There's a couple times where we start the melody and then the melody falls off just a minute and then we kind of go back into it. The more consistent you can get these melodies, whether you manually place them through Melodyne or something like that, or you re-record and try to get a little bit punchier, the more catchy it's going to be, because there's a couple audio volume is going up and down. Let me know if we're good. Let me know if we're good. Is audio? Audio's good? Are we good? We're good. Is it inconsistent? Is it like coming in and out though? Sounds solid? Okay. As long as it sounds solid, let me know. Yeah, maybe try swapping out and back in, retrack, and see if that doesn't fix it, since I had to reset the video source. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure. It's always chaos on live streaming, so I'm always trying to make sure that everything's good. Okay, let's hear these melodies, because these melodies to me are the biggest part here. So I'm gonna back it up. Beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful melody. It's such a great melody. I mean, I love it. Like I said, it's I hear crackling every now and then. It might just be maybe try closing your app completely. Maybe try closing the app completely, because I don't think anyone else. I can hear my direct signal and there's no crackle at all. On my side, it's like super clean. Let me know if anyone else hears crackle or anything like that, but it might just be a weird thing on your stream for some reason. Yeah, because I'm hearing my direct signal and it's it's clean. Okay, so first couple melodies, gorgeous, beautiful, love it. So well done. So let me get into this next section. It's this next little pocket, that little next pocket right there. That's what I want to lean into.
I'll be leaving every
You can hear it right there. Leaving. It's like I think if there is maybe some auto tune on there too, and it's trying to correct up to a note that we haven't quite caught and pitched down to the semitone below. So you have this kind of da 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 da. It kind of scoops, trying to find it back in again, and then okay, perfect. Yeah, if that happens, yeah, thanks for the help. Like I said, I'm always dealing with technical issues. Live streaming is a lot going on at the same time, especially in this case where I have a laptop, 2 screens, OBS, TikTok, Pro Tools, cameras, cam links, there's all these things going on at the same time. So if anything's ever off, of course, let us know. If it's on anyone else's end, then you can just swipe out and swipe back in. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot going on at the same time. So anytime someone says something, I'm like, it's possible it's me, but right now it looks pretty clean. Yeah. I remember my phone used to do that. My last iPhone used to overheat like crazy, and then everything would just start going haywire. So if it's plugged in, unplug it for a little bit. Who's this? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah. So it's not perfectly on pitch. So what I would do is make sure, because I'm not as worried about like the pitch changing. It's fine to be off pitch a little bit. That's not a huge deal. What I am more concerned with is the clarity of the melody. Again, the question that I always tell people to ask themselves is what do you want people to sing? It's always the question I tell people to ask. What do you want people to sing? Like, what melody do you want them to sing with them? And make sure that that is perfectly clear in your song, right? If your melody is like kind of inconsistent, or it's not exactly what you want it to be, and it changes a little bit verse to verse or whatever it may be, or hook to hook, if it's inconsistent because of tuning or inconsistent because of the performance, then it's really hard as the audience, as someone who doesn't know, like, you know the melody in your head, but we don't. So it's hard as the audience sometimes to know like what melody we should sing, since the notes kind of scoop or kind of goes down to this note and then back up to this note, but it's actually a little bit different than the second time that you hear it, so on and so on. And so those are the things that we're kind of looking for, right? And this has less to do, like, again, you can have, and I would encourage you to have variation in melody, changes in melody. Obviously, that's a good thing. Change your melodies, have some adaptions where you like start in the same melody and you kind of progress it into a fresh one on the second verse. Like, there's 100%. I mean, that's true, Capricorn. I mean, they can kind of do whatever they want, especially at this stage, right? At this stage, you can be as loose as you want to be, but make sure within those melodies that the notes that you are intending to hit are the ones that are presented to the audience, right? That's where tuning comes in. That's where manual corrections come in. That's where recomping and performing the vocal come in, is just making sure that not just is it in tune to the key with auto tune, or not just is it a melody that exists and is performed, but is the intended melody of the artist the one that the audience is hearing? That way they know exactly what to sing with you. Otherwise, like, imagine you did a show and they're like all singing the wrong melody. Like, what are y'all doing? It's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not saying you're doing this, but just in general, right? So in this little pocket right here, when we back up just for a second,
believing every word you said, and nothing can it throw.
if we can get that a little da 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 da, if we can get that like a little cleaner, right? This is largely exactly. You're getting it. And I know you know this too, but you're 100% getting it. This is their first introduction, one, to the song for most people, because we're small. We don't have huge audiences yet. This is a lot of people's first introduction, one, to the song, two, to the hook of the song. So this is how they're going to learn the song. This is how they are going to be introduced to what is the main moment of the song that they're all going to want to sing with you. So that needs to be correct. It needs to be intentional. It is also most people's first introduction to you as an artist and as a vocalist at all. So if there's if it's like an a cappella nearly intro, and it's really, really clean and it's really, really open, but the vocal feels out of tune. It feels like it's kind of hitting the wrong note a little bit, but then you kind of hear auto-tune correct it up, or whatever may happen. It's going to be those little barriers to, I think, people like latching onto it, learning it, relating to it, and it just feeling more palatable to the average consumer. So that's why I think these are tiny. I'm like, yeah, drag this one note into place so that it feels a little da 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 da. It feels a little bit more consistent on those notes. The reason why that matters is because you are literally training the audience on what to sing in your song. So there needs to be a little bit better clarity there, just as far as melody goes. Again, you can do that through software. You can do that through Melodyne. I prefer that you get as close to that as possible, in analog, in analog with your vocal, and then make corrections as necessary. But that to me is really important. Yeah, it's a great melody, Skins. It is a great melody. I have two questions. First of all, your feedback has from from Todd helped a lot. I'm so glad it's helped. Great beginner mics. It depends on budget. I'm going to listen a little bit farther. Let me know your budget, because beginner for some people can mean $1,000 microphone, because microphones can be much more than that. Or beginner could be $500. Beginner could be $100. Let me know what beginner is to you, and let me know what budget is to you. That way I can give you a recommendation within that range. Any genre, Royal. Absolutely any genre. It's already been all over the place. $200. You could probably find a used, I got you in a sec, a used 440 NT1A original. It's a little bit brighter. Because once this production kicks in, you're locked in. You're locked in. You're locked in. Here, I'd also re-sing it to sing it like more in one phrase. Yeah, breath control is very important. Yeah, and if you are struggling with that as well, comp in. Comp in. I mean, if you're like at the end of a line, and you're really pushing for a line, then comp in and give yourself the space to be able to crossfade those and bring them together and make it nice and easy. Yeah, $200. So I mean, I'm going to say under 300 just for some options under there. If you're looking for a microphone under $300 in any space underneath there, I would look at Lewitt. I think Lewitt probably makes Lewitt or SE probably makes the best microphones in that range. I prefer Lewitt. I've had them. I recommend them to so many people. I've used them dozens and dozens of times. The Lewitt LCT 240 Pro is a large diaphragm condenser. They're $100. They're $100 and they're fantastic. Incredibly low noise. They can handle very, very high SPL. So you could put them on a drum set. You could use them for vocals. You can mic a guitar cab if you want to. They're fantastic. If you were to bump a little bit above that, I think about $270-ish, 280, 270. You could go to the 440 Pure. That's also Lewitt LCT 440 Pure. I bet you could find one used for $225. You know what I mean? Just like you can find a used LCT 240 for like $90 or something like that. They hold their value really well too. I mean, to be honest with you, like the LCT 240 is like $100, and it's hard to find them under like 90. Like they don't crumble as much as like MXLs do, and it's like Warm Audios do and stuff like that. Right? You could buy a Warm Audio like U47 tube or something like that for like $1,000, $1,100, and then you can go find one used for like $600. They lose their value a lot more than some of these other microphones. Lewitt does a great job. Lewitt and Loudwin, they hold their value really, really well. In fact, they're hard to find for much less, even used for much less than what you're buying them for. So anyways, look at Lewitt. Look at anything from Lewitt. A large diaphragm from Lewitt, the 240, the 440, those are fantastic for the price. If you push a little higher, there's a lot more options. Obviously, the options bloom between like the $300 to $1,000 range. But if you want to look at like 250, 260, or even if you want to go $100, the LCT 240 Pro is my favorite microphone for $100. The SCs are fine. The MXLs are fine. I used to have an MXL 770. I've had AT 2020s. I've used Rhodes a million times. So there's a lot of options there, but I really like Lewitt. I like them as a company. So on and so on. Okay. Let's get deeper.
Silly me, I could have been so blind. Disbelieve, never not in doubt. Love and hate.
Clarifying these melodies, right?
Does someone get out of this? Makes myself like posing as someone else.
Positioning, layers, 2. I mean, okay, here's, should you sing it higher is a bit up to you and your capacity to sing it higher. The thing I could imagine, right now, we start in B minor. Now we do transpose. We do have a modulation in here. We do move it up here, a bit towards the end. We're in B minor. Right? It's very comfortable for you. I'm curious if you did sing. Yeah. I can hear some of those harmonies too in the background too, and they're great. They're a little bit higher as well. I'm curious if you moved this up to, let's say, D minor, D sharp minor, something like that. If you'd get more out of it. Silex, thank you for the heartbeat. Thank you for the go pop. That was a minute ago. I think I just saw those come in. Thank you so much for the gifts, man. I appreciate you so much. If you were to sing this in like D minor, if you were to sing this in D minor or F major, then you might be able to do a lower octave on the verses. I'll hear the second verse here in a second, but I'm curious if we go higher, if it'll actually allow you to drop lower too. If we're if we transpose to right, so you'd be like if you were up there at a higher range. Brady, thanks for tapping in. Welcome in, welcome in. If you were there, if you were in that range, we'd get more projection out of your vocal. We'd get a little bit more energy out of the performance. And I'm curious if that would allow us to go lower on the verses. So then your jump is broader, right? Because right now we're kind of here in the middle. We kind of bump up a little bit for the hook, but it's very much so in this space, right? I'd be curious that if we push the whole key up here, it allows you to drop the vocal an octave lower for the verse. I want to hear the second verse first, though. Because you can hear how this is all it's all the same key. It's all kind of in the same register of vocal right there. Let me hear the first one. So if we're here, so if we're here, so you could go. That's low for that octave. It's a hard spread. It really, so much of this comes down to your vocal range. So much of it comes down to your vocal range. If you could push up to E minor, depending on how, I don't know how strong that high register is for you. I mean, I heard your last song. Your last song has some pretty damn good vocal range. So I am kind of curious if you push to E minor. So E minor would be. That's a low. I mean, that's pretty low, but it also. That allows you a lot more range at the top. So what I would mess around with, if you have the vocal capacity, I would try to go E minor, maybe even up to F sharp minor. I mean, that's a whole fifth higher. It's a whole fifth higher. That granted, that means the whole production needs to be reworked. Guitars, bass, drums, obviously programmed. We can keep them really consistent. But bass and guitars and all of that stuff needs to be reworked. All of the vocals would need to be restructured, right? But I think if you can go to E minor, Luke, welcome in, good to see you. If you can go to either from a B minor all the way to an E minor or F sharp minor. F sharp minor obviously giving you a little bit more vocal freedom on the low end, but a bigger push at the top into that high mixed voice with fry. That's going to be tough. That's a little bit higher, but I think you have the capacity. I do think that you have the capacity for it. Let me hear the outro of the song now. We'll move on to the next song. But yeah, the biggest thing for me is like, let's play around with key, play around with the positioning of the vocals, and then get a little bit tighter as far as exactly where these melodies are and what they're hitting, so that we know as the audience exactly what you want to do.
Catch your breath, hanging on by there for something.
Think some space for vocals? I think simple is better. Yeah, I think you can push higher. This feels so comfortable that it loses some steam. I mean, actually, I think one of the people in the chat early when we were first trying it was kind of said the same thing. Like, I wish I was getting a little bit more out of the vocal, and I agree. I think we can squeeze a little bit more out of the vocal, but you have to be in a register that requires it, right? Because if you're here, it's just very, very comfortable. I mean, nothing wrong with that. It sounds good, but like, it's very comfortable. So there's no energy to like project more and push more into that mixed voice. And I do think the key plays a huge part in that. You'll have to mess around with if you want to key change then higher. If we go up to F sharp, right? That's going to be really, really high at the top end there. You might not want to push F sharp up to G if you're going to do a modulation or you're going to do a transposition. That's going to be really challenging to change the key there. And still go higher and higher unless you just feel like you got it. But I think on the voice I had to sing like a high F sharp. Yeah, it might be okay. I mean, if you're singing a high F sharp, then I don't even think you're going to be too close to that, right? Because you would be off the C sharp. If you're an F sharp, you'd be on the C sharp for most of it. Dun, 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 dun. the original of the B minor. No, you be high. You be high. It'd be high, but I still think off the, you be starting on the C sharp. I think you got it. I think you got it. Let's hear the outro. And then just restructure harmonies to support it. So if your high is really high, you might want to do like fifth harmonies below it. You know, you just got to kind of find what makes sense for a different register. Y'all show some love. I like your voice. It's interesting. It's powerful. It's engaging. I think the key matters a lot. I think where you're singing, the register that you're singing in, is going to be one of the determining factors of the amount of power that we actually feel in this song, right? I really think it's going to make a difference in the amount of power that we feel. So check positioning, check layering, check manual pitch control, of course, as necessary, and within your performance, which you're going to need to redo anyways if we change the key. And then, of course, find a range that allows you to have a more broad vocal jump, so it doesn't feel like even on the verses, even on the intro, even on the hook, we're singing the same register. Y'all show some love. That is Matthew Official right here in the chat. Show them some love and support. I love what you do. We got Aftermath in the building. Athena by Aftermath. Drop it in the chat. Those tenor pre-choruses will be the most challenging, and you might need to rework some melodies to make it work. Again, that's just a part of the writing process of shifting things around and making them make sense for you. Aftermath's in the building. Aftermath, and then really quick, producer. Oh, that's you. I was gonna say, wait, I thought producer Drew said they sent in. I appreciate y'all so much. Let's get into it. I know I'm taking a while. I'm going to try to go faster. This is Athena by Aftermath. Dizzy the Master, thanks for the follow. Aftermath is the vocalist. Let's go. And then I'm assuming producer Drew is the producer on this track. Let me know. Give me some details. Give me some nuance here, and let's dive in. This is Athena by Aftermath. It is out. I think I said Aftermath. Jesus. It is out on all platforms. Everything else is producer Drew. Mix 2, I'm assuming. If you like what you hear, it's out on platforms. So stream it, go like it, go add it to your playlist, show it some love and support. This is Aftermath. Let's dive in. I already like it because of the synth bass. 10 out of 10. Hell yeah. That bass. What is that bass? What is that bass? Low guttural run. Is it an octaver? Is there like an octave underneath it? Woo! What's up? Welcome in. Doing well. Oh yeah, Westfall's awesome. Westfall's awesome. Shout out to Jay Steele as well. That's the family. That's the family right there. Woo! Come on. Great mix. Killer mix. Love that dynamic range. Layering is gorgeous. Great voice. Do it, Matthew. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Love the reverse delays here. Ear candy, come on, come on, come on, come on. Y'all show some love, show some love. That is Aftermath right here in the chat. The song, excuse me, the song is Athena, and the producer is Producer Drew right here in the chat. Producer Drew, what a phenomenal production structure. I mean, it is heavy, it is vibrant, it is a wall of sound with great separation and clarity. Laia, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Howlermouth, so good to see you. Thanks for tapping in. A wall of sound. It's energetic, it's gated well, it's structured well, and then Aftermath, whoever is behind Aftermath, beautiful vocal texture, great clarity, great projection. The song feels emotional, it feels energetic, it feels vibrant. It cuts through beautifully over this wall of sound, and that's something you really need. You can't have a vocal that's over suppressed when you are dealing with quad tracked guitars that are gated and like low octave basses and then subharmonics underneath that with like synths and stuff like that. It's an incredible amount of energy in the mix. So you have to have great projection and clarity and separation out of the vocals. And that is not just mix. That is also vocal execution. That is also the projection of the vocal, the clarity of the vocal, the tracking process of the vocal, and then positioned and tracked really, really well. The one and only Siren, but in the game. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. I mean, this is beautiful. It's a fan. I mean, I know the people that mixed it and mastered it. Shout out to Westfall. Shout out to Jay Steele, the legends. They do amazing work. Definitely, y'all reach out. Those are people I can vouch for. I know what they do. I know them. Those are people that obviously do. You can hear it. They do a fantastic job. So, man, let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details. This is all praise, man. This is beautifully structured. Both of y'all, absolute powerhouse duo. Let's run it. I love the balance before we even dive into it. Early, right? It's super early in the song. Three things have happened. Already, the kind of premonitions of the guitar structure are really nice, right? Of heavy, low attack synth, like saws, right? Like low attack, like mini Moog saws, right? That are kind of hitting right at the early moments right here. That are like super sharp and transient, right? They cut in beautifully. But then balancing that with like the legato of the portamento, right? Getting the bends in there, boom, boom, right? You get the smoothness in between each of those notes, but it's a bit of a premonition of some of the guitar structure later on of having those half steps up and the gating that happens with that as well. It's a really good balance between those elements, and nothing's even happened in the song yet. Like, I love these little details. To me, matter the most when building a song like this. Link in my bio. Yeah, absolutely. Link in my bio. I'm assuming, do you have, so there's like a low, like 6-string bass or something underneath it, right? However you're recording that, right? There's like a low bass underneath that. I'm assuming because it's a low E, yeah, it's like, man, let's talk details because it makes me happy. It makes me happy. When we thank you for the follow back, Lynn, I appreciate it. 5-string E1. That's what I was curious about. Because you're down here, but if you're 5-string root B, are you detuning? Are you detuning to an E on the 5? Don't spam the chat. If you spam the chat, you will get muted. In fact, I might just mute you anyways because that's crazy. That's crazy. We don't need all of that. I'll mute you for 5 minutes. Hopefully it cools it down. Don't spam the chat. Don't spam the chat. If you want to submit, everything's at the link in my bio. These early moments right here. So clarity. 5-string, root B. Are you detuning the 5-string to E? Or do you have like a low octave when you're hitting the E? Is there like an octaver, like an octave pedal or something like that underneath it? Drop E rather than F sharp. How thick are your strings? How thick are those? Aren't what do I have on my this? I think I have the Ernie balls on my bass right now on the Samick bass. What gauge strings are you messing around with over there, man? Because that's a low detune on a 5-string, and that's where all that like low rattle is or something. It's like it is such a nasty feel. It's such a nasty feel. It just makes it so sub bass synth program matching the bass. I guess that's what I'm hearing underneath it too. That has such a weight to it. Franco, thank you for the roses. I appreciate it. It's those layers there are what I'm hearing. Obviously early synth bass, and then of course, the bass underneath it. But it's so textural. It's so granular. They have this, you know what I mean? Like it sounds like without this even going through a car stereo, it sounds like a 1994 Honda Accord with, double tens in the back. You know what I mean? Like this, it sounds crazy without, even being in that environment. It has such a great texture to it. Thank you so much for the gifts, y'all. I appreciate y'all a lot. Yenshin, welcome in, and Franco P, thanks for tapping in. How y'all feeling today? Thank you so much for those roses. I appreciate it. But let's go deeper. The bass is messing me up. The bass is messing me up. This is my favorite thing about this. Here's my and for those of you who are coming in who are going to get annoyed that I'm stopping it, we've already heard the song all the way through. This is our second play now through the song where we're going to chop through some things. We're going to get into some details because we're just enjoying, producer Drew's and Siren's creative process behind what they're doing. One of my favorite things about this are the mirror images between like electric instrumentation, guitars obviously in this case, and synthesis. The mirrors that are happening right now, we have like low palm mutes on the E minor, right? Dun, 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 dun. We're getting these palm mutes. They're driven really, really hard. They're fuzzy. They're at very least double tracked on either side. They're beautifully, beautifully done. But in tandem to that, you are then layering that and mirroring that with a sequencer, an arpeggiator with the synth as well, giving you like the same note or harmonies to the note or movements close to the note. But the rhythm structure is the same. So if you have like 16ths happening on the palm mute, you have the same thing happening on the synths. And it makes the whole song feel like so connected, so in tune with itself. Like everything is like guided going in one direction. And then what's beautiful about this is you have this like rigid, gated, powerful, like really strong percussion structure and guitar structure and synth structure. And then layered with like ultra wafty, beautiful siren vocals at the top. You know what I mean? Like the contrast between the heaviness of the production structure, the rigidity to an extent, the kind of the quantizing and rigidity of the production structure is complemented by the looseness and the floating that's happening with the vocal. That contrast makes it feel heavy, but also eerie and ethereal at the top, which is such a fantastic combination. If that's not done well, that vocal just gets lost. It gets lonely in the mix. That vocal just gets suppressed like crazy. It gets dropped way into the background. And so, man, when it comes to the way that this mix was balanced and the way that it was performed, man, just beautifully done. Beautifully, beautifully done. Let's run it. You have to mixing horns. Trent, yeah, what's the pain point? Because that's the tips can kind of be endless depending on what the pain point is. But what are you running into in mixing trumpet, sax, and trombone that you feel like is a pain point for you? Bum, 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 bum. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Woo! Come on. And that fry, there's so much energy behind it, and it is crisp now, saturated really, really well. Obviously, there's a lot of harmonics attached to that vocal as well, but that transition and register of fry scream is not an easy thing to do, and Siren, you've nailed it. It is so well structured. And it's just well performed. That is like a really clean, really transparent fry. No wobbling, no shakiness in that structure right there. It's beautifully done. Beautifully, beautifully done. But you can hear, again, listen for like boom, ka-ba-bum, ba-ba-bum. It's very, very rigid. Again, complemented by the synthesis, and then these just really, really gorgeous ethereal vocals over the top. But those are the things that, again, like if you work near this genre, if you work in like progressive metal and a lot of like modern, heavier styles of music, even if you're doing like hard style EDM and dubstep stuff like that, a lot of these rules apply of having a heavy wall of sound in your production structure, complemented by typically like clear, more transparent vocals, and with set into a lot of space. Welcome back, Jenna. those are some of the things that we're talking about here. So it really doesn't necessarily depend on the genre. If it's even adjacent to this genre here, those are the things you want to look for. Contrast in the mix and separation in the mix. We don't just want loudness. Loudness is great. Loudness can help you feel certain elements in the mix. It is out. It is out. It's Athena by Aftermath on all platforms. It is contrast and separation between all these elements. If it was just loud, but we lost the vocal completely, it wouldn't matter as much. If it was just crazy inflated, like bloomed bass on the bottom end, but we lost all of the fuzz and the grit and the texture of the synths in the background, it just wouldn't matter as much. It would just be subharmonics and that's it. But the fact that we get all of this amazing separation where it is a wall of sound, it is energetic as hell. There's so much body in this mix. Westfall crushed it. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful mix. Crystal clear drums. The cymbals are washy and they're shimmery without being like pointed and harsh and just too abrasive to listen to. It's such a good mix and such good performances of all of the production that you really do. I can hear every single thing. It's loud and it's crazy and it sounds obnoxious where it's supposed to, but I can hear every single thing happening in the song. That is a beautiful mix. That's what you want out of a mix. When y'all are trying to reference things or you're choosing engineers and you're looking for stuff, like that's what you want out of your mix. Even if it's like, it could be you, a cello and an acoustic guitar, you want clarity, fullness, and separation out of those elements. If it's 6 layers of rhythm guitars, 2 sub basses, and 8 synths behind it, you want separation and clarity out of those elements. You can tell what's going on in the mix. Anyways, man, what a fantastic, fantastic record. Let's get a little deeper into the song. But yeah, it is out. It is Leia, thank you so much. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, first of all. But thank you so much. I appreciate you a lot. Subtle third harmonies in the outside. And also, y'all, 30 monthly listeners. 30 monthly listeners. Like, your next, here's the thing. This, like, it few things bother me more, I think, when I hear Liette. Okay, perfect. I do want to, no, I'm going to say it right. Liette, I will get it right. I will not. I hate being one of those people. I will not be one of those people. I will desperately want to make sure that I am respecting y'all's names. You deserve it. You deserve to have your name said correctly. Since Friday, it released Friday, so this is fresh. It's been out for a weekend. But there's something so crazy to me when I hear this level of proficiency, this level of talent, this level of resource poured into a song. To be honest. Good imaging, good aesthetic, good sonics, good writing, good structure, all of the above, checked all the boxes. And then 30 monthly listeners. And to me, it's just a tragedy. So, all in all, the next wave for you is just a hyper focus on what it means to promote your music and in what format, because I can assure you that it's not just, putting it out there that it's cool with like a high quality music video. It's just not enough anymore these days. It's very, very rare that it is, unless you're a phenomenal videographer and what you are doing as a videographer is really interesting. Just cool. I mean, I'm telling you, because I see this day in and day out. I see it 100 times a day and I see it all over my social, my For You page and my reels and my whatever, my YouTube shorts. I see it everywhere. I see people invest thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in videos and they get the same 22 likes and the same non-translation of that to streams, because that realm, it's now anyone can get, a camera. Anyone can get like the new iPhone with like a decent camera. Anyone can get, they can, go into debt on Amazon and get a pretty decent cinema camera for $1,500. You know what I mean? It's not unique anymore to have like high quality. And so I hear I haven't seen any of your content, so I actually don't know what's going on in the background here. I just see the translation to streams. It's an early record, but I also see, just how much potential you have. And so my encouragement to anybody in here who's listening, I'm not a social media expert, that would never claim to be. I see a lot, I'm observant. I've worked in the space a long time. Don't rely just on quality, because there's a lot of people who can make good quality now. The barrier of entry has gotten a lot lower, especially with how good these are, right? Especially with how good phones are. I can shoot raw log footage on this and have it go straight into a drive. Quality is no longer the barrier to entry. And so be very, very interesting and very, very creative with the way you approach marketing this, because you have so much potential. And I would hate for you to get stuck in just like, well, I'm really high quality. The production's really high quality, and whatever, all this other stuff is really high quality. So the videos and my promotion should be really, really high quality. Really sit with that and make sure that the way that you promote this feels authentic. It feels real to you and your aesthetic, real to you and how you want to get your music out there. Just because I say all that, just because I want your music to do so well. I think y'all are fantastic, and I think it's a great crew. This is a great duo. You're working with a great team. The music is never going to be in question. You know, the quality of the music's never going to be the thing in question. How you connect it to people, and what that looks like to you is going to be the thing that is going to be the biggest pain point for you. If you can figure that out, game over, game over, game over. Let's get into the last section here. Producer Drew, Aftermath. Y'all are phenomenal, fantastic. We gotta hear the solo again. Hold up. Here we go. Thank you for the follows, y'all. Appreciate y'all. Pinch harmonics is the choir in the background. It's eerie. It's crunchy. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. So good. So good. I mean, it's so fuzzy, it's so dirty. I love it. It's so good, man. Please show some love to Aftermath. The song is Athena. It's out on platforms. Stream it, like it, add it to your playlist. Follow on Spotify. Follow on social platforms. Shout out to producer Drew from Monster Production, Monster Composition here. Shout out to Westfall on the mix. Shout out to Jay Steele, the family. That's the family right there. Shout out to him on the mastering as well. Just a gorgeous job overall. Amazing. Yeah, if anyone wants to submit your music, you can. It's all at the link in my bio. If you want to go faster, you can. That's completely up to y'all. There's no pressure at all. If you don't want to skip or you don't want to go faster, but I will always go top to bottom. So when you go and you check out the list, you see the consultations, you see the free line. It's always top to bottom in that order. So if you want to go faster, you can. You can push it faster if you would like to, but I'm always going to go from top to bottom. It's going to make the easiest. If you are submitting your music, it's got to be in line with everyone else. It can't be here in the chat or in a message. It's got to be all organized because I'm going in order. I'm on a platform, keeping everything. It helps me stay sane. Otherwise, I will lose my mind looking at too many different things all at the same time. So it's got to all be in order. It's got to all be in the platform. But man, please show some love to the family. Show some love to producer Drew. Show some love to Siren, Aftermath right here in the chat. Let's keep it going. I'm going to try to move faster through these next couple here. We got Vendor in the building. Marcus, hop in the chat. Let me know. Do you think we can record with the USB microphone and hide it with mixing and mastering? You're not going to hide it, but you can make some good sounds. You have the quite physical limitations of what you're using, right? Like there's physics behind it, right? The amount of like signal and loudness that a particular cable or a particular set of data and signal can actually utilize, right? So when you're talking about like USB versus an XLR, like phantom power, dynamic versus condenser, stuff like that, there's physics behind that you can try to mirror, you can try to like change processing, but you are still running into the physics of the thing that you're recording into, right? This is your vocal to this microphone is the first step in the analog chain. So no matter what you're using, it's all going to be, that's not going to change. There are going to be limitations to that. So one of the biggest limitations are going to be SPL, to be honest with you. The amount of energy that diaphragm can handle before just breaking apart, right? Before just completely, Rick, thanks for the follow. Before just shattering that signal, right? Like a good microphone can handle 140, 150, 160 decibels of loudness of signal in front of it before the diaphragm can no longer handle the vibration of that signal, right? And the loudness of that signal. A USB microphone, a cheaper microphone, something that doesn't have the ability to manage, like their circuitry actually doesn't have the ability to manage that much loudness, is going to break apart really low. So you might have like a Blue Yeti, that's really small and right here in front of you, and you decide to like put a lot of energy behind that vocal, and all of a sudden, no matter how much you turn down the mic, I keep trying to turn down the microphone, what's going to happen is it's going to distort. And if it doesn't distort, even if it's clean, because you had to turn your gain down so much, once you put it in the DAW and you try to crank that vocal back up to a reasonable level again, there's going to be so much self-noise, there's going to be so much sensitivity to it that it's just going to be unbearable to listen to. It's going to be really frustrating. That can't be just disguised by mastering. You're going to have to noise reduce, utilize noise reduction. You're going to have to gate well here. You're going to have to do so many band-aids, add so many band-aids to your processing to correct for that thing that's going to be a frustration for you, as opposed to, and again, if you're recording with a cheap microphone, record with a cheap microphone. The reality is just you can't really disguise it that much. The other reality is that if you're recording with a higher end, even if it's $100, but a higher end microphone that can handle more, and it can handle more with better clarity, even with sensitivity and with lower self-noise, then you're going to be much, much, much better off, right? Like a lot of higher end microphones, you can throw a lot at it. You can throw a lot at it and it doesn't give you any issues, right? So that's gonna be one of the differences. You can't necessarily disguise it. You can't just disguise it with mastering. For sure not mastering, but even in the mix. It has its limitations. It's gonna take some work to get it sounding good. It definitely can, but it does take more. It does take more to get to that point, which for some people is fine. And for other people, it's not worth it. It's not, they'd rather spend $200 to bypass the 45 minutes that they're spending trying to just get it to the $200 microphone point. If that time is more valuable to you, if the energy putting into that and the frustration of trying to get the right sound is more, if that's not something you want to have to deal with, then sometimes it can be worth it to go a different direction. All right, Marcus, where's Marcus? Let me see. Do you like hard tech? Yeah, I like all genres. This is not done at all. Placeholder vocals and figuring out structure. Don't give too. Okay, I got you. Do you accept AI music? I don't use it, but a friend may want to join if he's allowed. I don't prefer it. As y'all have seen, every song's a little bit different, but we go into a lot of detail, right? Whether I'm like helping you with gear, or I'm helping you with song structure, or I'm helping you through like the details of some of your vocal production and like sibilance that's giving you some issues or some frustrations within optimizing your stereo field, and your master is always doing this thing, right? I just can't do that. That's kind of the whole structure of the live. I can't do that as much if you have less control over your sound, which most people that send in AI are kind of generating from scratch. Most people aren't just generating a flute that they dropped into a drum beat that they made on FL Studio. Most people are moving it. Now, you can. People do. I'll be honest with you. Almost not every live anymore, but it used to be almost every single live someone would send an AI. I don't mind it. I'm not here to trash you for it, or whoever, right? I'm not here to trash it. I'm not here to like roast it. Do what is creatively fulfilling for you. I don't really care. It's just not as easy. There's less that I can dive into. So if you're going to pay for a consultation, I just don't know if it's as worth it for the other person. And I try to make it as valuable as possible. So you can. People submit mainly for songwriting. So if you want to talk about songwriting, song structure, formatting, vocal phrasing, stuff like that, those are all options. And people usually, when people are sending in generated music, they are typically sending it here. If they're coming into this live stream, they're typically sending it for songwriting help, where they're struggling with phrasing, they're struggling with songwriting, and they want to improve on that. So we'll talk through that. But that's an option. Definitely an option if that's something they would want to do. But that would be kind of the limits of where we can really dive into it, because I can't touch the mix as much and stuff like that. All right, vendors in the building. Let's run it. We're moving on. I appreciate the question though. Yeah, you can. People can. They do. All right, let's get it. We got the Dropbox right here. Link in my bio. Let's run it. I'm gonna try to go a little faster, a little bit. Still gonna be long. This is Spring Alarm by Marcus right here in the chat. If you want to submit, link in my bio. Nice little Mellotron in the background. I love it. What's up, Chris? Interesting rhythm structure. Yep, definitely. What's up, Daniel? Welcome in, y'all. We have what? You have work in 5 hours? Dang, dude. We might end up we might even end up saving yours, unless you move forward. But yeah, that's crazy. I want you to get rest. I feel that. I feel that. For the weekend. It's up to you, man. That's up to you. You know I got you no matter what. If you wait it out, you wait it out. If you got to hold for tomorrow, I'll be here. No pressure. No pressure. I want you to take care of yourself at the same time. I like this sound a lot. This to me is a hook to me. Sounds good. Sounds good, Daniel. Sounds good. Love the melody. Follow with the bass. That's nice. There's a lot I love about this. There's a lot I love about this, man. It's really, really well done. Let's run it back from the top. Let's mainly talk about some balance of production things, of just like how much heaviness there is in the song versus how much openness there is, right? Like that's one of the things I want to break down really, really briefly. I know you said we can move faster through this one. And then the other is structure. I really like this aesthetic. This works well for your vocal. I think you're crushing it, man. You're a good writer. You're a good vocalist. You're a great producer. Like y'all are doing so many things so well. So I'm not too worried about it. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into some of the details. But this that little melody you have there in the middle towards the end, that to me is like your hook. You could probably just take that here. This right here, if we can bolster this right here, if we can bolster this part of the song right here and make this more supported, better layering supporting, like better layer support, a stronger low octave, maybe even a melody that follows it. Like what would be nice is like a shimmery, like either D50 Fantasia / like DX7 EP1 melody that follows it, kind of a bell tone that follows it a little bit. So if you had this, it's the F major, right? So if you had the like a bell, DX7, bright piano, whatever it may be, that just and followed that melody of your vocal and kind of collaborated with it. So you stack the low octave, you support with the doubles of the vocal, support it with the instrumentation as well to make that accented, right? It feels forward. It feels you're right. It feels forward. It feels supported. It feels like everything's kind of pointing in the direction of that. Now, what was, 3 or 4 verses with a bridge, and we go back to the bridge and a tag, kind of a loose song structure. If you just take that, support it better, bolster it a little bit, and then copy it earlier in the song, maybe even replacing one of your verses, depending on how much you want to dive into the songwriting structure. Like maybe you could consolidate some things, maybe remove some lyric structure, copy that over and make this be a little bit more of a verse hook, bridge, last hook, or something like that. I think this pocket, this melody right here is my favorite as far as like, oh, that's a great consistent melody. It's a great high lift. Is beautiful. Love it. Melodies are awesome. Let me run through this briefly because I know you said you wanted to go a little faster. So I'll run through it briefly, but that to me that's the biggest thing I want you to focus on, is that structure. And then really quick, before I chop through a couple quick details here, because I know you're running, the try to find a slightly better balance between heaviness and openness. I would love for this feels really thick. It feels really dense and really heavy as far as the production goes so far. Some of that's mixed, some of that's balancing, you can be easily fixed. But a lot of it's just like very bass forward, really thick low end and stuff like that. I think the more that you can consolidate this and make it feel a little bit more like maybe on the bass, even, strangely enough, pulling out some low end from the bass, even high passing the bass up to, 50, 60 hertz and suppressing some of that low mud between 100 and 200 hertz. The more that you can kind of like regain some control over that, I feel like we can open up this mix a little bit. It feels very, very inflated low end. And I think that's removing some of the natural character and natural openness that the song would have. This to me would feel very airy and poppy and open and really ethereal, but it feels a little dense. It feels a little heavy on the low end. So listen for that a little bit and see if there's any way that you can support, which is why I think high layers and doubles, bell tones with the hook, right? To give it some support right there. Because I think if you give the hook more brightness, more openness, a little bit more energy right there, and control some of the low end, this will feel it'll feel like a movie. It's like, and this is like an ending credits song. Once we get into all this stuff right here, like this is ending credits of a Netflix show. You know what I mean? Love the dead drums. What's up, Beanbag? Welcome in. You could even have like a march on the snare here. And then, right? Like, and then accent it with those bells, or accent with like a DX7, D50 Fantasia, preset. Accent it with that, march on the snare, just on the last part, just like B section of the tag or the hook at the end. You add a little bit of that march, right? But that to me is like, that to me is like already just 3 or 4 decisions here. Clarify the song like crazy, give it a stronger hook, give it better support, give it a stronger song structure that feels more engaging, more interesting to listen to, without you having to add like just crazy stuff all over the place. I don't think you're far off at all, because I already really, for an early demo especially, I already really like the way that it sounds. I already really like the format of it. I really like the energy of this production. So for me, it's just how can we mold it and fine tune it, compartmentalize it a little bit better, dude, and you're going to be ready to go. You're going to be ready to go, man. Show some love to Marcus Gunner. Marcus, I love your music. Every song I've ever heard from Marcus is just lovely to listen to. It's so good. Like it is just like interesting and natural and beautiful to listen to. So man, show some love to Marcus. Marcus is a Vendor, I think is the Vendor. Oh, we have another one from Vendor coming up here pretty soon as well. But Vendor is the name of the artist, and just beautiful. We're about to hear more from them here in just, I think, after the next song. Beautiful job as always, man. Always, always, always beautifully done. This is Beanbag over on YouTube, by the way. I'm relatively new to producing, and to be honest, my tracks kind of sound like demos and very minimalistic. Nothing wrong with that. Any advice? Also, do you offer production services? Yeah, Beanbag, that's what I do full time. That's what I do for a living. There's kind of largely 3 or 4 different things that I do, but full scale production, session work. So people hire me as a session musician, and then mixing and mastering. So if you're ever interested, Beanbag, just if you go to the link that's in the description of the live stream on YouTube, you can find my social media there. You can find our website there. But if you go to Instagram or TikTok or something like that, shoot me a DM. I know there's not really a DM on YouTube really, but go to Instagram. Instagram is where I prefer the DMs. It's just easier. Shoot me a DM. I'd be happy to talk to you about what you're looking for. Just make sure it's a good stylistic, creative fit. Like make sure that it makes sense, and we can talk about your project and talk about what you're doing. Liette, I am in San Antonio, Texas. In the process right now of redoing a bunch of stuff here in the studio, but we'll be like back up and running for if people ever want to come in here, hopefully in the next couple weeks. In fact, I just got 2 big packages today that I'm very excited about. They're out in the other room. Yeah, if y'all want to submit music, anybody can submit music. I got a handful of music left in me, so we got a couple more songs we're going to get to. Go to the link in my bio. You can see the link in my bio. You can see the queue, you can see the order, all of that stuff there. But let's get into the next track. We got Adonis in the building. Adonis, hop in the chat. I love Adonis's music. We're about to get into it. Get into it. Da, 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 da. Gonna do some dust music. Yeah, it's good. Goodness. Are you not here? Leah, where are you from? Remind me. You might have said it earlier, but remind me. Yeah, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Canada, yeah. Is it better there? I know a lot of people in Canada, and it's like hit or miss. It's hit or miss. Some of them are like, it's a lot of the same shit here, and then other people that are like, no, dude, it's totally different. So let me make a song. Let me see. Yeah, just expensive. I mean, it's the same. America's just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I mean, I'm in San Antonio, which is a cheaper large city in Texas, and it's doubled in price in the last 10 years too. And my wife and I were in Dallas for 2.5 years, and it's even worse there. I mean, obviously, if you're going to be in a major city, there's like 5 million people, so it's going to be expensive, but it's just unreasonable. Like you can't, it's nearly impossible. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, let's get it. Adonis in the building. Let's go. There's Adonis. I see him. Let's run it. This is Dime Algo. Or is it Dime maybe? Sorry. I can't see the rest of it here. I love the beat and wanted to make something to vibe in the summer. Let's go, Adonis. You know the deal. Talk to me about the details. Give me some context. Let the people know what you do as well. Adonis is a family. Dime, yeah, I was going to say, I saw it without, any inflection. So I was like, hold on 1 minute. Let me use some context clues here. But we got Dime Algo. Let's get into it. It's time. Nigel, thank you for the dolphin. I appreciate you.
Yeah, dime algo, bebé, sé que no soy un santo. Yeah, hey, dime algo, sé que tú quieres contacto. Yeah, hey, dime algo, ven y fuma este gelato. Yeah, hey, dime algo, bebé, yo quiero ser tu gato. Yeah, juegue con mi cora, no seas abusadora. Sé que me piensas cuando tú estás a sola. Empiezas a llorar cuando te toca y te moja. Cuerpito como una botella de Coca-Cola. Dame un chance. Ya tú sabes que quiero verte otra vez.
Depends on how you define pro. I mean, it'll do the job. It'll do the job, but it's not going to give you as much clarity as a condenser.
Yeah, dime algo, bebé, sé que no soy un santo. Yeah, hey, dime algo, sé que tú quieres contacto. Yeah, hey, dime algo, ven y fuma este gelato. Yeah, hey, dime algo, bebé, yo quiero ser tu gato. Ya me conoces sin palabras más, solo mírame que no hay falla más. Ve, atrévete, no se puede evitar. Me enamoré, eres una diosa, pegajosa, eres peligrosa, todavía me quiero enganchar.
Let's go, Adonis.
Como la rosa, baby, voy a hacerte cantar. ¿Qué va a hacer? ¿Qué va a hacer? Baby, me lleva
What's up, Washi?
a nube. Quiero más que solo los fines. Te necesito lunes a viernes. No soy un palco, baby, yo soy fiel. Eres mi reina y estoy a tu orden. Yeah, dime algo, bebé, sé que no soy un santo. Yeah, hey, dime algo, sé que tú quieres contacto. Yeah, hey, dime algo, ven y fuma este gelato. Yeah, hey, dime algo, bebé, yo quiero ser tu gato. Yeah.
Yo no sé si palabras más, solo mírame y no me vayas más.
I think I know that Spy sample. I think I know that sample. Yo, show some love. That is Dime Algo by Adonis right here in the chat. Amazing job, man. I was not expecting the twist in there too. Now I know your music. I've heard 20 of your songs at this point. I know most of the direction of your music and the structure of it. So I kind of figured there was something in there, but this early production structure is a little bit interesting. I want to dive into a little bit of what can happen in this intro right here because I'm very intrigued by it. I want to make sure that we get into your vocal structure in a way that people know it's you, know you're there, and know that something's about to happen while still having the twists and turns. I think both are really important. And then let me just bullet point really quick because I think you should get this out there quick. I think you should get this out there quick, man. This is summer's now. Summer is now. I don't know if it's already in distribution or anything like that. You can of course let me know. But summer is now. This needs to be out. This needs to be out in a week. You know what I mean? Like this is not a song that you can like wait around for. We're already like a month in. You know what I mean? We're already, quite literally a month in. So you only have a couple more months where we can really push a song like this and give it the space so that it can be getting traction for weeks and in a month on end as well. If it hits in August, September, whatever it may be, we want to get that push. So I would get this out quick. I'd get this moving pretty quick. But let's dive in, man. 4 weeks before snow, yeah, that's crazy. So I mean, like I said, I'm in Texas, so it's either no snow or we get like 2 days of ice, and that's about it. I just dropped a song last week, and so I was planning for next month. I mean, you're not necessarily asking like my marketing, suggestions or something like that, but I would give it like 2 weeks. I give it like that's 3 weeks between releases. Give it 2 weeks. Give it 2 weeks, 3 weeks between releases, because you just got to think it's like the first post doesn't take off, second post, third post, fourth post. You know what I mean? Like it takes a minute for even like viral songs to get moving. I mean, I've seen songs go viral, and sometimes it's like it takes like 30 posts for it to go viral, and then the 30th when it like picks up, people know what to expect. They know what's going on. The song goes crazy. So I'm not here to tell you how to change your strategy and your release strategy, whatever. It's not my wheelhouse. But just from my perspective of it, timing wise, right? In 2 weeks, we're already going to be a couple days into August, right? And so when I'm thinking about like a lot of people have like already like taken their summer trips, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people in like June going into July and stuff like that, they've already booked their summer trips. They've already gone on the cruise. And like, if what you want is like when they're posting their content and they're trying to find songs that are summer smashes and they're taking a trip to Mexico, they're doing whatever they're doing. Like you want to, they're going to Miami, whatever the deal may be. You want them to have sounds getting traction that they can grab onto, right? If that's not there yet, then we're missing a big batch of people. That's why I would pressure you to go a little bit faster. You don't have to, obviously, do what makes sense for you. Do what makes sense for you. But I'm also like, dude, they're posting their content that should be with the song now. And that's where I would push a little bit. 280,000 songs a day now. Yeah, no, literally, it's crazy. It's crazy out there. Put it out. Okay, so really quick. I want to talk about the beginning, but the first thing I want to say is I would love a little bit more forwardness out of your vocal. That's one on the mixing side. It's one of the only things, right? I would love a little bit. Now, backgrounds are great. I love the filters. I love the reverbs, the ping pong delays and stuff like that. You get all this energy back there. Beautiful, fantastic, love it. Nothing wrong with that. Lead vocal specifically, I would love, in my personal opinion, for it to be a little bit drier, not so much reverb, a little bit drier and a little bit more forward in the mix by like 2 dB. Nothing too crazy, but a little bit drier, so a little bit clearer and a little bit more forward in the mix. Just a few dB, because right now your backgrounds carry all of your ambience. Like you got all this extra reverb and delay. It's going crazy. I love it. That lead vocal can be a little bit cleaner because I would love to have a little bit more punch out of that vocal. I would love to get a little bit more, drive, a little bit more clarity out of that vocal. Now, the only other thing that I want to listen for is the intro, and then we can move on. But as far as like mix goes, I would just love a little bit better separation on that vocal, so we can, when it comes in, it punches, it's clean, it's clear, sits at the front of the mix. Then you'll be ready to go from there. I'm not worried about it. So like all here. I'm not mad at the mix. I'm not, the beat's done pretty well. We need something here. Just recently switched engineers. It's way better. I think the last engineer that you worked with, at least the last time that I heard a song from you, it was just really driven, like really overdriven and really saturated and really compressed. And so nothing nothing jumped out. You know what I mean? Like everything was so like suppressed and held back that like nothing could cut through the mix. This feels a lot more open. So I didn't even know it was a different engineer. I just know it sounded a lot better. Yeah, it was boxy, it's kind of rigid. This feels like a little snappier. This feels a little bit more open. What you want? I think we need something from you in this intro here. I still want the twists and turns, but I feel like we need something to happen here because it takes a little while to get into the song, and I want people to get into the song, but I also want them to kind of know what's there. I want them to kind of know what to expect. Like this is a lot of stuff happening right here. Ad libs or vocal chops, or let me, where's the hook? Like even if you took, because it's a different BPM, right? Like it's much slower in the intro. So like, so I'm like, let me like pull a sample from the hook. Yeah. Like one of the hooks, you can even like, you know, pitch it up or drop it down, and then. So this actually is faster first. So like maybe let this intro in here. Halftime. Like you could do something like that, right? Like this, and that's just the first phrase. Take like the first phrase of your hook and chop it as like a bright, like a pitched up sample, like a 4-minute shifted up little altar boy sample in the first half where it's fast. Like little chops and stuff like there, and it feels, you know, feels really tight. And when it goes halftime, you it's like slowed down and like spread up, but it's all like a sample of just like the first phrase of the hook, something like that, right? Tossing ideas out there, you can get your own wheel spinning, but I do think we need it's the plugin. It's the plugin. Little Altar Boy's a plugin. For those of you who are like, what the hell is he talking about? It's a plugin. It's a plugin for format shifting and pitch shifting called Little Altar Boy. It's not just go sample your friendly, go sample your friendly neighborhood altar boy. Don't do that. I'm saying the plugin, the plugin specifically. Okay, let me, and then we can spread it out, right? Like right here, we can like slow it down, spread it out, and then maybe pitch it down. Like again, having like two different separate chops right here that are, you know, like that are in a vein that feels really consistent. Then I think you'll be good. But we do need a vocal. We do need something here, a vocal chop, a vocal sample, something in this intro to let us know that you're there. Let us know that it's worthwhile listening to the next part, because it's a cool intro, but people hear a lot of music. They hear a lot of music. So I think having something that's engaging to listen to early on, I think is really powerful. And then when you hit your first hook, right? When we start here, boom, we're in it. We're in it. You know what I mean? So, the beat is really snappy. It's really punchy. It's a little bright to me. I like it. So like you were talking about like mixed notes, it's largely really good. It's punchy and it's snappy and has a lot of great crunch and saturation to it that I'm a big fan of. Beat is a little bit overpowering, I think, partially because it is just a little bit bright. It's a little, kind of transient at the top. So I would just be careful not to like push it too hard. You might want to suppress that a little bit on the far high end of it. And then vocal forward 2 dB, a little bit drier, boom. I think you're good. Most of this production's really tight. Most of it's really tight. But even here, even like the kick drum is a little bit sharp. Is a little bit sharp. I need this artist to make club mixes of mine. Dude, 100%, 100%. Adonis is working with some great people. Adonis is awesome. They have a ton of music out too. So go stream their music. Go see what they're working on. They're awesome. It's such a vibe, man. Let's go, KW. Love that.
Ya no tiene que buscar. Yeah, dime algo. Bebé, sé que no soy un.
I mean, yeah, rest of this sounds great. Like I said, small EQ changes on the production structure, focused on the high end, forward on the vocal, a little bit drier, sample introduction early on in the song so you grab people's attention immediately, and a premonition of the hook is always good, right? Anytime you can introduce a hook early, it just makes it that much more catchy when it starts. When they go through the song and they actually get into the meat of it, they're like, oh yeah, I know this part already, kind of like, right? It's familiar, it's grounding, especially as you get deeper into the song. Let me get in this last section here. Now here again, this is where automation comes in, right? Here, I don't mind when these pads come in, these rolling, basses come in. I don't mind, obviously, quite a bit more energy out of your like ambiance in your mix, right? So in the background here, if you want more reverb, a longer tail haul, you want more delay and chorusing on the background vocals, like you can automate this forward a little bit. When we go back into and we go back into the rest of the song, that's where I would keep it drier, right? So feel free to automate these reverbs a little bit. What's up, Sean? Welcome, man. Good to see you in here. Feel free to automate a little bit. Make sure that like these lower moments that have a little bit more space to them feel open, feel really vibrant. You definitely want that. But when you get to the main hook of the song, that's where I would tighten it up just a bit.
Que no soy un santo, yeah, ey, dime algo, sé que tú quieres contacto, yeah, ey, dime algo, ven y fuma este gelato, yeah, ey, dime algo, bebé, yo quiero ser tu gato, yeah.
Yo no sé si palabras más, solo mírame y no dejes llamar.
Beautiful. Oh, this is great. It feels fun. It's a party. It gets people moving, but it's also still emotional feeling. I like that beat a lot. It's cool. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love. Show some love. That is the family. Adonis, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've heard your music. I really like the engineer that you're working with. This is much closer to I think, the sound of what you're going for. This feels way closer to what I always kind of imagined your mixes could be, where we're always trying to get something out of it and squeeze something out of it, and it just still felt restricted. This now feels a lot closer to what like I know your potential is, and like what I know the potential of your music is. So, man, y'all please show some love, man. Show some love. Show some love. I can't use my card on the site. You can, yeah, you can. Here's the only problem yet. And again, this is completely up to y'all if y'all are okay with that. The only problem is TikTok takes like 60 to 70%. That's the unfortunate side. So for it to make sense on my end with what everyone else is sending through the website, so on and so on, you just have to send so much more, right? So that's the only thing. You definitely can. People have, and I had people just send they sent like whatever the shooting stars, they sent like galaxies and like stuff like that. You can. Okay, so. For instance, it's about $4 per 1,000. So it's 10 to get on the board on the site, right? It's 10 to just to get to the base level on the site. It's 10. So that would be like 2,500 coins. That's like two galaxies and a half a galaxy and some stars. So it'd be about $2,500 a slot. So if you wanted to skip past that, it'd be about 5,000 coins, so on and so on. It's a lot. It's unfortunate that I don't know why. It's like obviously the creators are the ones pushing the platform. The creators are the one that are getting them. You already are paying them. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's so annoying because like the creators are the ones that are making the content. The creators are the ones that are live, that are getting people to buy coins and translate it and stuff like that. But it just has to make sense because unfortunately, like they just take such a big amount. So and I can discount it a little bit for you. I could bring it down. We can negotiate. I'll bring it down. But yeah, they take so much on my end that unfortunately you're spending a lot more than I'm receiving on this end. So for it to make sense to like skip people and move past people makes it tough. People do it every once in a while, but just kind of because they want the show. It's cool to see the big gifts. It's cool to see those things happen. I mean, obviously, I'm grateful for that anytime. But that is the unfortunate part about TikTok's gift system. But y'all show some love one more time to Adonis. But yeah, it's like if you were to just send 60 through the site, you could have like 2 songs at the top of the list and skip everybody in the whole chat and go to, that's the difference. I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. Yeah. I don't know why they're not taking, the card. I mean, there's also actually, hold on, try this. Liette, if you want to submit, cause like, dude, I've worked with people in Canada all the time. I was like, if you do want to submit, wherever you want to submit, if you go to my link. Yeah, no, there's no problem. I have all of the other platforms, Apple Card, Cash App, PayPal, credit cards, debit cards, all the different platforms. There's a second link at the link in my bio that says like move your song or skip your song. So you'll see it. It's underneath the submission one. That is actually from our old list, but it allows people that don't have those options to still have the options there. It's from our old submission process. No, you're totally good. You're totally good. Add to your skip. Libby's got it. Add to your skip. If you go there, you can send any amount. You could, like you said, you don't have to spend 60. You could spend 20, and we'll get the full thing because it goes directly through our website. You can send whatever you want there, and you should have all of the options there. Because I've worked with people from Canada tons of times. Should be fine there. If you send there, I'll have you submit for free. So you'll submit a free song, and I'll skip you forward manually. So if you end up wanting to, obviously completely up to you. Completely up to you. But you can, any of y'all that are having trouble submitting, or you just don't want to skip through that process, send it to that link, and then I'll skip you manually. I'll just drag you up to the top. Okay, let's get into this next track. This is Setback by Vendor. We heard a Marcus song earlier. Here's the second one. Let's get into it. This is Vendor, Setback. Yeah, let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. But that link usually works for stuff like that. Yeah. Check it out. See if it helps you out. All right. I've heard this one before. Trying to get it to work. Let's run. Let me know again, if I've heard it before, but let me know if there's a pain point you're like trying to get it to work. What is the barrier that you feel like you're running into? I love this song.
In my seat, dreaming of someone. Only follow.
I love this song, dude.
Eye for eye, you're falling on your nose.
It sounds nice. Sounds nice, man.
In mercy, bring your own little.
It's not a terrible mix, especially for the genre.
Can I be strong, standing away from
Robert, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it.
what is coming on? Set back, gonna face another fact, gonna face another day. I know, oh no, death is coming. Set back, gonna face another fact, gonna face
Nice.
another day. I know, death is
Also, thank y'all so much for 12,000 followers. I appreciate that. Thank y'all so much, man. I genuinely appreciate that so much. I just saw that.
someone.
Thank y'all. Exactly that.
Only follow.
Link in my bio if you want to submit. I'll be closing up the line soon, so just keep that in mind. Just a handful more songs.
In my seat, bring your only one. Can I be strong, standing
That guitar's so much better. That little melody's so much better.
on what is coming on? Set back, gonna face another fact, gonna face another day. Oh no, I know death is coming back. Even if I said I was okay.
You might have been, Robert. I don't know. I don't see the order, but I'm very grateful. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate that a lot. Every single one of y'all that followed, I appreciate it. I don't take that for granted. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, I'll probably finish with the consultations, and then I gotta eat some dinner. Man, show some love. Okay, let's get straight into it. I've heard this song before. So we're gonna dive into some of the main points here. I'm gonna start it straight from the top. We'll dive into a couple quick issues. One of the main things for me, actually, because I like everything you're doing, Marcus. Like everything that is there, I like. I think this is gonna come down to like balance and positioning. Like mixing in its simplest form, to be honest with you. Like to me, that's kind of what I'm digging into here, because all of the instrumentation I love the repetition. It is a bit narrow, yeah. So I love the repetition. I love the reintroduction of the guitar. I love so many of these other layers that you have in there. I think the vocal structure for the hook is spot on. I think you nailed that introduction right there. All of that sounds great. All that sounds great. So for me, this is going to come down to levels of individual elements and where they're positioned in the mix. That to me, I think is going to be your pain point, because you don't want to get to a place where you kind of get to like the end and you're just like, well, maybe I'll just widen the master or something like that, and then you end up with like weird phase issues and like some hollowness in the mix. I think if you can maybe open up some of the vocal structure, if you're able to open up, I think maybe there's one of the guitars that's in mono in the middle that I'd be interested in. Maybe sending the drums, if you haven't already, into a really tight room. So send it into a room reverb that's really wide. So this is another thing you could do to kind of open it up, because it's a really dead, dry, centered vocal structure. That part right there, that could be opened up a little bit, so you could send it into a really open room that's really wide, but then have it like a 0.5 seconds. You know what I mean? Like a really tight room reverb. Wait, you aren't going to do any of the free submissions then? That's a bit narrow. Not looking like it. The free is just a quick play. He'll call out in a minute to see who's here. Yeah, we'll see we'll see once I get through the consultations who's here. Maybe we'll get to one, but I also keep in mind that I am on for hours, right? So I have to kind of keep in mind how long certain things, and that changes every live. Every live's a little bit different. Sometimes the line's super long, sometimes it's quite a bit shorter. Sometimes the time that I have on the line is only 2 hours. Sometimes I have 5 hours to do a live stream, but it's very dependent on the other work and the other projects and stuff that I'm doing. So just keep that in mind. Like it says in the list, like there's no guarantee that I'll try to get to some a day. I try to skip a couple people out depending on the live and how busy it gets. I try to bring some people out of the free live to give them some skips and stuff like that. But a lot of it just depends on my workload. A lot of it just depends on the structure of the live that day and stuff like that. I'll see. We have a couple more here, and then I'm going to close submissions. I'll close submissions, and then I'll maybe we'll close up with a couple free ones as well. We'll try to do that as well. Okay. Come on. Whoops. Play the song. Where'd it go? All right, let's back it up. But yeah, let's mainly talk about that structure there.
In my sleep, dreaming of someone, only follow eye for eye and fall.
We'll choose a couple at the end.
In mercy, bring your only one.
The mellotron and the double of the guitar makes it so nice. Yeah, Leah, we added that the last time we came in, there was one of those. I was like, we need to double that guitar riff, and we doubled it, and it sounds so good. I'm so glad that it's there. It adds so much texture. It adds so much texture to the song.
Can I be strong, standing away from what is coming on? What is coming on? Set fact, gonna face another fact, gonna face another day. I know, oh no, death is coming. Set fact, gonna face another fact, gonna face another day. I know, death.
Let me back it up here. I want to hear where the vocal goes on the hook just really quick, just dynamically. Yeah. So the thing that you're running into is like mono mellotron, there's a mono guitar in the middle, I believe, as well. Mono vocal and double of the vocal centered in the mix. Drums all centered in the mix. So the like 80% of the song, open hi-hat centered in the mix. 80% of the song is happening right here in the middle, and you're not getting that openness. So I'm wishing that there was a little bit more happening a little bit wider. Not all 100%. I want to hear this transition here really quick.
is coming, set back, on the face, another fact, on the face of it.
So there's there's a little like melody in the guitar in the background right here. It's kind of underneath the vocal. Even that right there, I feel like would be nice. So here's what I'm trying to figure out. I was like, I think you have all of the elements you need. I don't want to get into a place where we're like, okay, we need to add a stereo pad. We need to like add another double track of the vocals out here. Then I feel like we're going to really quickly get into a noise battle where it's already pretty full. They're just some things kind of stepping on each other's toes, and they're kind of all in the same position or close to the same position. I do like a slide, like even like a steel would be nice. A steel slide could be nice, or even just like one of these and like a hollow body like moving up. I wouldn't mind that, but I do want to be careful of the fact that there's already a lot of different melodies and rhythms and stuff going on that we could get into a noise battle where we just kind of keep adding things in order to make it wider. What I would focus on is positioning. So in the background here, so there's right? There's these, that little melody in the background. Get something like that with like a stereo chorus on it, push it all the way left and right, or like put it all the way on the right side. Like start to open up this positioning a little bit more here. That's a great lead line, but it also stays right underneath where the lead line. So I'm just kind of listening for what already exists there and seeing if there's any way that we can like open it up a little bit right here. Cause I really like that. That lead melody is great. So if that was like, again, take even like my piano here, right? This is gonna sound terrible, so keep that in mind. But take the piano here. I'm gonna put like a bucket brigade. I love like a stereo bucket brigade chorus, like this, like those old units, right? How wide all of this? I mean, this is like the whole mix. Like again, this is I just bypass it, right? This is nothing. I'm not even touching the plug. Right? That's the standard piano. We add a little bit of this. It's everywhere. Right? That's already like, it just immediately, it's super wide. There's a lot of, excuse me, a lot of splitting between it, a lot of frequency rub there. Like, it's beautiful. It opens it up like crazy. Even something like that on the track. There's already some chorusing on the guitar, so you got to figure out, what that looks like for you and what you feel like would work well right there. But opening up that signal is going to help you out a lot. Frankie, appreciate you. Opening up that signal a lot is going to give you just a lot more room in the mix. Because right now it's kind of sitting right here. And what this is going to do is going to give it texture, and it's going to split it way out here like that. Take a signal like that. It gets it out of the way of the lead. The lead has a little bit more energy in the middle of the mix. It splits that signal, puts it wide in stereo. The mix feels wider. This only comes in this way on the hook. So if every hook, this really wide chorus signal comes in, the mix feels wider, feels more energetic, so on and so on. Think about little details like that. I think that to me is like your last little missing pieces for these mixes. And I would definitely have wide vocal layers here too. The lead vocal right here has great doubles. I love the slap delay. In tandem to these doubles, I would love either a harmony on the outside or another double on the outside. If there's not one already, if there's one and it's quiet, bring it forward. But I would definitely love, I think even Liette said this, but either an accent vocal on some of these layers here or just a full double vocal that's left and right, track one left, track one right, only on the hook, right? So that the hook expands. The hook all of a sudden gets wider, it gets louder, it gets brighter, it has all this new energy in it. Those are the only things that would be like, to me, additive, right? That would just, okay, all of a sudden the vocal goes from doubles in the middle, delay in the middle to like really wide open, open lyrics. Yeah, fact, almost like gang vocals. Gang vocals, could be nice there as well. But yeah, like opening up the song structure so vocals can compete better in the mix and opening up some of the production with some chorusing. I think that would go a long ways. The thing I would just keep in mind is make sure that make sure that the chorus is on a stereo track, right? Like this is a stereo piano, right? right? Since it's a stereo piano, we get a stereo chorus on there. What you'll want to do is make sure you add a stereo chorus. So at least it is on Pro Tools. If in Pro Tools I have a mono track and I add a stereo processor to it, it will then split it to stereo and I'll have a stereo output. It's like going into a Studio D in mono and it opens it up into stereo. So like that, something like that would open it up like crazy. Better vocal layering and positioning of the vocal layer, and then getting some of these elements out of center and wider. So whether that is a stereo room that's super, super tight, it's like a really, really tight room, and you pipe the drums into that. So the drums are still dead, they're still dry, but they're also really wide sounding. Chorusing on that lead guitar element in there, and layers for the vocal. Those three things to me are, I think, are your last missing pieces here. I don't think you're far off. I think your sound is great. I think the tone of this is great. I think I think so much of what you're doing is amazing. But I'll look it up working in Logic. Wait, which thing? Let me know which thing so I can make sure, because sometimes there's a little bit of a delay. I want to make sure I know which thing. Maybe I can explain it. All right, let me get into the outro here really quick. But the rest of this, I think, is structured really, really well. I like the overdrive on the vocal. I like the emotion. Getting that vocal also, the layers will help, but that vocal can also be 2-3 dB forward in the mix. It's getting kind of swallowed up by the rest of the production here. It can definitely be forward by a couple dB as well. Yeah, I'll show you. So just as an example, my vocals in... So yeah, I don't know how this works on Logic. Just I'm not in Logic. I'm in Pro Tools, but I'll show you how it works for me, right? Like this piano is a stereo. It's a stereo piano plugin, right? Even if I take off the chorus here, right? It's a stereo, right? It's stereo. You can hear it coming from both sides. Now, if I were to, let me see here. Let me see what settings I have on here real quick. Not much. No, I won't worry about that right now. Dude, it's so catchy. It's so ridiculously catchy. I love it with all my heart. It's so good. Anyways, this is a stereo piano, right? And obviously you can hear it coming from both sides. Now, my vocal is in mono, right? So it's not coming at you. It comes at you from right down the middle. It's center channel. It's in mono. But so here's what happens. I'll show you this really quick. This will be a good example of what's happening here. So if I'm going to take off the chorus here. If I were to add a mono chorus, I'm going to add the Bucket Brigade. I'm going to add it in mono, right? So here is my vocal in mono now, right? If I have a mono vocal, single channel, mono vocal, it's not stereo, so there's no left and right. It's center channel. It's right here in the mid. If I use it, sounds like I feel like I'm in Star Wars, right? Like I feel like I'm in some old like sci-fi movie. But you get the idea, right? This is the best way to express this. Right, exactly. Right? You're hearing some flanging, right? You're hearing some chorusing, right? This is in mono. So you hear how this doesn't feel wide. It just feels kind of weird, right? Because it's collapsed. It's collapsed right here. Yeah, shout out to, we just started Star Trek. It's pretty fire. But right, you hear how it's like, it sounds just kind of funky because we're not getting that stereo image because I'm a mono vocal with mono processing. But if I add this effect in stereo now, what's going to happen is you're going to hear now, whoa, come on, somebody. That is now how exaggerated and wide that feels. That feels crazy. At least, I mean, it doesn't, if you have headphones. Yeah, Daniel's here. Yeah, if you have headphones, you'll hear it. I don't know if it'll come through on TikTok, but in my headphones, this sounds obnoxious how wide this feels. It sounds crazy. So imagine that difference, right? Going from mono, actually I can go here, back to, no, that's gonna just switch the mode. I can't do that. Either way, you get the idea. Bucket Brigade. This is a specific plugin. Right? Yeah, Daniel's in here. So this is a plugin from UAD. You don't have to do it, right? I can change this. I'm going to change it for you. I'll use a stock plugin. We're back. We're back to mono. See how different that feels? That's obnoxious. Imagine that on the guitar, right? Taking a single channel mono guitar or taking the Mellotron or whatever, and it just is massive sounding, right? Now, I'm going to I'll do a stock modulator. I'll do a, on the Caffeine Buzz. Let's go, man. Let's go. I'm going to add just a stock chorus, but these are all in mono. These are all only in mono. So let's see what I can do. Let's see what I can do here. Whoops. Check 1, 2. This is only in mono. You can hear it. This is crazy. This is only in mono, but you'll get the idea, right? I'm going to switch this to another stereo one. So basically what you're looking for is one of two things. It's either that you add to the effects, because this wouldn't be on your vocal necessarily, right? We're listening on the vocal right now, but we're not talking about the vocal. We're talking about how it splits the signal. What you're looking for is this, right? This mono signal with mono modulation on the vocal. And then if I go to this in 2 seconds, stereo, boom, right? And this is just another stereo Studio D chorus, right? So the idea is that it's taking that signal, splitting it, and you're going to hear that frequency rub between these different elements, right? So that's what I'm looking for, right? Take that guitar that you have in the lead, boom, right here. Bypass this. And you take that and you open up that signal and you make it feel wide and vibrant and energetic. It's going to completely change the way that this song feels. You can do it on some of your background vocals. Like there's a lot of options, right? A lot of ways that you can do this, but those are the things I would focus on, man. Those are the things I would focus on. Focus on positioning, getting that chorusing on that, synth layer right there in the middle of the mix, positioning of different elements, vocal forward by a couple dB, optimizing some of these other, tools in the mix. But beyond that, man, I've already heard the song, right? But the structure is so good. The writing is great. The melodies are beautiful. A lot of the production sounds awesome, man. So y'all please show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That is the family. Marcus Gunner right here in the chat. Appreciate what you do so much. Absolutely fantastic. And y'all, officially the line is closed. Line is closed. Line is closed. So we'll listen for who we have here, and then we are going to dive into the free line here in just a second. Yep, you got it, man. Doubles on the vocal on the outside. We need the width. We need vocals forward and we need them wider. We need chorusing in the mix. We need, it can't just be mono and super wide. We need to fill out the rest of the mix, and that you'll feel it. As soon as it happens, you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. It sounds so different. Warren, let me know if you're in the chat. Warren, let me know if you're here. But y'all please show some love one more time to Marcus. Let me know if Warren's in the building. It's so catchy. It's ridiculously catchy. Ridiculously catchy. Give it a second here. I love how Pin does nothing. I know it's TikTok needs to get their stuff together. It's crazy how big a part of TikTok Live is and how little they invest in it being good. Outside of gifts and battles, and even then, it's so biased towards TikTok that it's annoying. It's not that way on Twitch, which is one of the reasons why I like Twitch for live streaming. But it's so annoying. It's like live streaming and live selling and stuff like that is such a huge part. Like TikTok Shop, all this stuff, such a huge part of TikTok, and they just it's just not ideal. Jasmine, thank you so much for the follow. It used to do the same thing for me, Liette. I was able to switch it to where, because I would get knocked every single time too. It would pull me off the For You page and stuff like that. For me, saying literally nothing. I don't even curse a lot on here and stuff. I'm try to be nice to people. I'm not saying crazy things. I'm pretty straightforward, but even with that, it would give me a lot of issues. It stopped doing it when I said, I know curse. I'm trying to be PG. What does that remind me of? I forget what that artist was, but anyways, side note, Sailor Beltor was at Magic. Anyways, you get the idea. But once I switched to say that you can market your own brand on there through your settings on Live Studio, which is what I'm using on here, that I think that did take that away. It doesn't knock me anymore. There can still sometimes be restrictions, but it's much less. Okay, let's get into it. For a week for saying I love women supporting each other. Why? It's it's infuriating. It's so infuriating. It's an absolute nightmare. Okay, I don't think Warren's here. We got Daniel in the building. We got a back-to-back from Daniel in the building. And Daniel is going to work in 3 hours, so let's get into it. Super early live recording. Looking for some thoughts on instrumentation, maybe some additions to the melody. Let's get into it. First song I was sent live. I'm just looking for a vibe check and maybe some ideas. Okay, cool. Give me a second. It's loading audio. Let me refresh. That's crazy magic. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, cool.
Hold it down, don't go fast.
You're like, this is nothing new.
Take what you thought you had. Get what you need, you don't have to ask. No one cares, life's so fast. Why is it that you can change? You just go saying that it's not your place.
I'm saying.
I'm dying to feel your cold embrace, and I don't mind if you don't.
I like the minor push there.
Chase your dreams, don't wear that mask.
I would love a harmony to come in right there.
No regrets about your past. You're better than this, hold it down.
Like just on these accent points.
You will get it next time round. Dying to feel something. I can't just move on and make amends. I'm trying to tell all my friends that I don't mind if you don't lie.
Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you.
Nobody seems to make it. Take all of what's done. And sometimes I'm impatient. You can't please everyone.
I like this for a hook here. It's kind of late, more like the bridge later, but
Nobody seems to make it.
like to me, this is kind of the hook.
Take all of what's done.
It really helps elevate. Yeah, it's a hidden hook. It kind of elevates the song structure a little bit, but it takes a little while to get to this point.
Can't please everyone.
Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love to Daniel Kearney right here in the chat. We have another from Daniel coming in just a second. Shortening it. Keep it secret, keep it safe. Yeah. I mean, I think the song's not long. It's 2 minutes and 52 seconds. I don't think it's long. I just think we can in my personal opinion, I think we can restructure it a little bit to get a little bit more life into it. Nick's welcome in. I think we can get a little bit more life in here by changing that melody structure a little bit earlier. Because I love that. I think it would be really, really nice. And then like one addition to the percussion structure. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And also just keep in mind really quick, and trap hats, of course. Keep in mind the line is closed. We will be live again tomorrow. So definitely tap in tomorrow. We will be here. It'll be tomorrow afternoon. So just make sure that you are following on Twitch, YouTube, or TikTok. Subscribe to where it makes sense. And we will listen to y'all's music tomorrow. But let's get it. And we are going to listen to a couple in the free line here in just a second. So once we get to the end of these songs here, I'll pull it through. I'll pull a few from the line. But you got to be here. I mean, yeah, they're good early melodies.
Get what you need, you don't have to ask.
I would maybe keep the same progression. So, dun, 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 and again. Dun, 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 and then. like change melody from there. But I think it would be nice to have repetition, not only of the melody that you have there, but also of the structure. Like it feels connected, it feels locked in. Personally speaking, I'd like going to like the C to the A minor twice. I like having both of those in there. Brinka, got you. Appreciate you. All right, let's listen a little bit further here.
You can change. You just go saying that it's not your place.
Let me hear how we get into this.
You don't have to ask. No one cares. Life's so fast. Why is it that you can change?
Like if you use this as a pre,
Just go saying that it's not your place. I'm dying to feel your cold embrace, and I don't mind if you don't like.
here. So here I would go hook. So we haven't, and part of what draws this out is it's like slow, low BPM. It's obviously chill. It's a raw mix. Slow BPM. It's raw. It's really simple. And then we have interludes in between and stuff like that. I would go into this at 57.
I'm impatient.
So if all of a sudden you go,
No one cares like that. Say yes. Don't mind if you don't like.
and then I'm impatient, so facing my mind. Whatever melody, right? So waiting, silent peace in my mind. Whatever, like whatever melody you do there, going from like the minor, like the major, like the, and then going back up to like the F7 or something like that, having the hook come right out of this little minor push, which is like the pre to me gives you a stronger hook instead of waiting late, way late into the game. Having that happen early, cut the interlude, put the hook there. I don't think you need the interlude. It's a slow song. I don't think you need the interlude unless you're going to add a bunch of new melodies and new, pads and like stuff like that, right? Yeah, I think so, because now you have the interlude right here, right? You go to the progression right there. You cut the interlude, go straight to another verse, no interlude. After that hook, go straight to another verse, straight to the hook again, and then you could just go out from there. You don't have to have like an extra bridge or another pre or anything like that. If you want to shorten the song, you could make it 2 minutes and 20 seconds and consolidate a lot of that structure, and it'll feel so much tighter, so much tighter.
Take all of what's done. And sometimes I'm impatient. You can't please everyone. Nobody seems to make it. Take all of what's done.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a song that wouldn't be, if you want to put it in the EP, go for it, 100%. That's up to you creatively. But I do think that this does really well in a really acoustic space. I think you could do just acoustic and like cajon in the background, right? Like you could do this just acoustic. You could, I'm impatient. You could like, like you could add like just a piano chord, nothing crazy. F7 only on the hook, C7. You could do just that and it sound pretty nice, right? Even just like an upright bass too. You know what I mean? Like just the like cajon in the background, and there's like you could build this out a little bit more. This has like a lot of potential to like bring out a little bit more energy out of it, just already having like some of the background cajon that you have, and then an upright bass. The fun and the peace of my mind. Like if you just like bring in that, like to me now it's vibier than like what we have right now, which is pretty and it's raw and it's really, really organic. But I think King appreciates you. I think that we can build this out still really acoustic, because I don't think this needs to become like a John Bellion record. You know, I don't think we need to like sample filtered drums and build it out too much and like an 808 comes in underneath it. I think this can still be really raw and really pretty, you know, like really organic and really natural, but have a little bit more structure to it, so it doesn't feel like kind of like a run-on sentence of a song where it's pretty and we're saying all of the stuff, we're saying all the right stuff, but it kind of gets dragged on a little bit longer. If we just add like just a piano and a bass to the hook, and then we come back down to just acoustic with the cajon for the verses, but it's a little snappier, got a little bit more rhythm to it. I think this will just feel a lot more concise. I think it'll feel more like a song than like an interlude, right? Especially because right now we're waiting to the very end of the song to do the hook, which in my opinion is my favorite part of the whole song. If you can bring the hook in earlier, we consolidate the song structure, we cut out the interludes, we go a little bit tighter, and we build out this production a hair more, a piano and just a upright bass or something in the background. I mean, that's going to be moody, man. It's going to be really, really, really cool. Daniel, I appreciate you, man. I mean, seriously, man, you have so much talent. You've got so much talent. Seriously, I mean, this is not like, what I'm saying is like, hey, let's add an orchestra and go crazy. I'm saying like you just put this in MIDI. No other notes. Just a good sound. All you need, this is just a good piano sound. This is a Roland upright, you know. You could do nothing else. No chords. You don't need to. You don't need to do anything crazy. You don't need to go like just a chord. F major 7. C major 7. Draw that into MIDI. Lower the velocity all the way down, and just exactly. We don't need the lobby at, you know, the nice restaurant. Like it can just be. I mean, don't even just do the octave. This is the octave in the third. No 7. No crazy chord. This is an F and an A octave. Even that. We play this here.
Yeah. Nobody seems to make
Just the octaves, nothing else.
Take all of what's done. And sometimes I'm
Like even just the octave. Like don't think you need to go too crazy. Sometimes the culmination of many simple things is better than trying to take one thing and go too crazy with it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes having just the octave on the piano and the acoustic layer and like a really nice doing just those two notes for the whole song on a slide with a bunch of reverb and chorusing in the background. One little thing, doing very simple momentary elements on a song, are sometimes better than having. That'd be too much. It doesn't need all that, right? But just having this on a different element can really make a mix feel full, but don't feel like each element needs to be doing too many different things. Y'all show some love. We're gonna go back to back here really quick. We've got another one, Regrets and Memories, which I've heard before. We added new vocals and made some adjustments to the mix. Let me know what you think. Let's get into it. We're almost at the end here, y'all. You've made this not a throwaway song. I don't think, you know, if you hold really loosely your music, I don't think there's really like any throwaway songs, you know? It's just the context that changes. What the song is for, who the song is for, what it does, what it means to you, what it is. You know, like, I think if you hold really tightly to your ideas, where you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh my gosh, I had this grand idea and it's gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? Like, and then you wake up and you're like, oh, this is terrible. I would never want to do this. If you're too rigid with the way that you hold on to your music and your lyrics, then you'll never be able to have that future inspiration of being like, oh, that's what that was. This is perfect. There's so many times when I'm working on a song, I'm like, oh my gosh, this actually drum layer that I made like 3 years ago is perfect for this artist that I'm working with right now. You just never know when that's going to happen. That 2 a.m. on a Monday song, facts, 100%, which I know it is currently for you. Okay, let me get into this next song really quick. But yeah, if something feels like a throwaway, just find what works about it and then rebuild the rest. So like in this song, I'm like, maybe in its current state, it's not as viable, right? In its current state, there's not a lot of structure. There's not a lot supporting it and moving it and driving it forward that is super engaging. But the hook is gold. The hook is super, super gold, and your progression is easy. Like progression is an easy listen, and the cajon and the acoustic sounds fine, right? So let's take the fact that the hook is gold, the progression is easy, acoustic and the cajon sounds great, and be like, okay, this hook's not going anywhere. Let's build it out. Add the piano and the bass. Now we just need to fine tune verses, right? So it might just be that you really like the hook and the hook works really well, but we need to fine tune some of the other things, right? I mean, that's a lot of songwriting is just like, oh, this works for this song. This idea is better in a different song. Let's put that on the shelf. Let's put that in the vault. Yeah, the vault, like, and or separate yourself for a couple weeks. You know what I mean? Like, you write a song, you're like, I think it's good. Let me hear it in a week, in a couple weeks. And you come back to it and you're like, yeah, it's good. I just need to rework the chords. The chords or it's in the wrong key. I don't like how my voice sounds singing it here. I need to go lower, or I need to go a lower register or a lower key and raise the octave on the vocal. Like a lot of songs, like you'd be surprised at how many songs I've like worked on or I've shifted where it's just like the song's in the wrong key. And I don't like what my voice is doing when I sing that lyric. So I need to shift it to where I like what it's doing in a particular register, whatever it may be. There's so many, that's the fun and the nuances of art. This is Regrets and Memories. Oh, facts, 100%, all the time. All right, this is Daniel, Regrets and Memories, new vocals, made some adjustments to the mix. Let's get it. Almost done, y'all, almost done.
To concepts, wasting my time on love, bleeding to madness, minds full of
Brodeezy, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
just can't keep it up. Why don't you call from the backseat based off what you know? Why don't you call me a taxi? I think I wanna go home.
Love the space.
Reliving past stress, pain in my conscience. All the damage is done. Whatever happened, you can imagine. But what did it cost? Drunk on regrets and memories. Maybe I can't get enough.
Remind me what y'all are doing for drums really quick.
Watching, waiting for progress, hoping that I don't get lost.
That's a stronger lead there. I like the tension. And Malvar, we're closed for today, but we're going to be live again tomorrow afternoon. So definitely follow. Make sure that y'all are tapped in. Turn notifications on. We'll open up the line again tomorrow afternoon. Cool. Yeah, that doesn't matter as much. If it's MIDI, that's perfect. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Let's go. All right, let's run it from the top. I've heard this song a couple times before, so we'll move quick. This one won't take long at all because we can bullet point a little bit more because most of this is already where it needs to be. Ending levels on the ending so much better. That's much more where it needs to be. We have a clearer top line that replaces that vocal. Beautiful. The big thing I want to talk about is bass and ride. So the only thing that is going to become boring about this song, even though I love the way that it sounds and feels, right? It's an easy listen. It's warm. It's natural. You have good writing. Like the thing that's going to make it monotonous is the dynamics being right here the whole time. If the dynamics are right here the whole time, even if it's a really beautiful sound, the brain will start to tune it out and it'll become monotonous to people. So what I want to do is find some ways to make sure that we step up and down a little bit more. To me, I think you should use your ride cymbal and the bass going to the eighth notes as your dynamic lead here. That to me is kind of the two things that I would love to shift. RJ's in a building. What's up, RJ? What's up? Good to see you, man. I hope you're doing fantastic. Hold on one sec. The absolute legend in the building. What's up, man? Appreciate you tapping in. Thank you so much for joining. If y'all don't know who RJ is, he's probably one of the most prolific modern guitarists on this platform. What he does, his editing, his production structure is absolutely fabulous. You probably, even if you don't think you've heard him, you've probably heard him. You've probably heard what he does, man. He's a brilliant musician, absolutely brilliant musician. So if you happen to see that name in the chat, you happen to see it in the name list at the top, definitely give it a follow. That's a phenomenal artist right there. Okay, I want to get into this section here, right? So again, what I want to mitigate is that this song becomes too monotonous over time, right? For the yep, I got you. Yeah, 100%. I got you, man. 100%. I'm going to bring it back to the top here. So you go between just early plucks and some quarter notes, and then you move into going into the eighth notes leading into the hook. And then the whole last half of your verse is the eighth notes straight into the hook that is also the eighth note. So part of the reason why it feels more monotonous is there's nothing about the hook that defines it as the hook. The drums are largely exactly the same. They always... The RJ Payson was in here, 100% retrack for a little bit at least, for a little bit, man. That's it. RJ's amazing. If you don't know RJ's a monster producer. We always have that ride at the top, and then we always have the eighth notes on the bass, right? So what I would love to do is keep the quarters or keep the basic ones, right, on the verse, and then don't bring in the faster bass line, the eighth notes on the bass line, until you hit the hook. I also think 100%, Liette. I also think that I probably wouldn't bring in the ride until the hook as well. So I'm going to back it up here. We'll go to the first verse. We'll kind of talk through what we're talking about here.
Bleed into madness, mind's full of nonsense. I just can't keep it up.
So more like here. So here we just have that kick in the snare, right? We just have the boom, boom, right? Super simple. Let's the acoustics do most of the work here, and the bass is simple. This is what we're looking for. I would come back to this for your second verse, and see how boom, 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 boom. Now we go back into the eighth notes again, and as soon as this happens, we lose our separation from the hook, right? Because the hook is the exact same thing that we have right now. I would keep this simple still. Still maybe move some things, maybe still add a layer in there if you want to, but don't speed up this bass until we get to the hook, right? Because we're already in hook dynamic before we ever get there, so the hook doesn't feel like it offers that much.
Based off what you know, why don't you call me?
Because you can hear it still fast, right? Dun, 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 dun. Simplify this back to just what you did at the intro. And then start it here. The ride comes in, and then the bass goes like, right? The ride comes in. I already hear that kicking on the left side. The bass comes in a little bit faster, and then go back to simple for the second verse. Back to simple for the second verse. So you hear out here, listen for what the drums are doing from the hook to the verse. It's the exact same. Ride's still going, so take the ride away right here, and we're back to boom, back to the super simple, and the bass is back to super simple. This is going to give us our dynamic range a little bit more, right? Where it feels really dry and it feels tight, and then the mix opens up a little bit. We get the ride, we get more bass, we get more energy in the mix, the vocal layers come in. But if we don't have that dynamic range, even a really beautiful sounding song will sound monotonous over time. So keep this low on the bass, super simple. Stay simple here. You can add other elements, right? Like we can add other layers if it makes sense, vocal layers or harmonies or other rhythms in there, maybe a shaker, right? A little shake in there could be good, but don't speed up the bass, because as soon as you speed up the bass, the song is at its climax again. It's at its height again, and then it can't go anywhere from there. Especially if the hook is going to have that same thing.
Memories, maybe I can't get enough.
And you hear the rides in there the whole time. So since the bass and the ride is there the whole time right here, when you go into the hook, there's no change outside of the lead melody. And then nothing changes about the drums, nothing changes about the bass. We change to the lead, but that's fine, but that's one element. It would be better if 3 or 4 different elements are shifting in their sound design. Thanks for tapping in on the Purple app. I see you. Thanks for joining. I would love for multiple things to shift right there. That way it feels like the bass and the drums, there's something energetically that is actually shifting dynamically. Otherwise, it's a lot of the same. I was going to ask, do you think we might need to add a vocal layer to add to the dynamics? B section of your verse, I would. So second, the verse is long, right? It's a slow song. It's a slow song, right? So on the second section of the verse, which is a lot of the same melodies, it can also become monotonous. Nothing wrong with that, but you just got to be aware of it. On the second section right there, that's where I would add a maybe another double to the vocal or a harmony to the vocal right there, a small little melodic shift. So it's not too much of that same melody, even though it's a great melody and a good voice. Too much of that is gonna become monotonous, right? Bronze, thank you for the follow, appreciate it. So if we can find some ways to shift, we can find some ways to add a layer right there. Like I said, I would prefer on your B section of that verse for you to add vocal layer or a shaker or something like that, as opposed to increasing bass. Because once you increase the bass and you add the ride cymbal, the dynamics are flatlined, and that's as big as the song is going to feel. So your hooks lose a lot of meaning there. Hello, Sky's in the building. What's up? Hello, Sky. Good to see you, man. Y'all show some love to the family. Hello, Sky. The family, the man, the myth, the legend. It's so good to see that name pop up in the chat. If you know Hello Sky, that's quite lit, man. That's the family. That's the family right there. Good to see you, man. Dude, so good to see you. Man, it made me so happy to see that name pop up in the chat. I'm gonna get to the end of the song here really quick, and we'll move into our final song of the night, and then we'll dive into a couple quick free listens. We'll dive into a couple quick listens here. Dude, good to see you too, man. I hope life is treating you okay. I know life is a lot. I hope it's been crazy. It always is crazy, but man, I hope it's treating you all right. Yeah, y'all show some love. Daniel Kearney, appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much for sending in this track. You're awesome, man. Very talented, great writer. If we can get this more dynamic, even just lightly, I promise you it'll be more interesting to listen to. It'll be more engaging to listen to, and you'll get more listens out of it because people will stay longer, especially on a song like this. Life is a lot. Life is a lot. I got the promotion I talked about last time. Let's go, man. Let's go. Amazing. That's so beautiful. Sorry, I had to play the happy music. It's the only music I have on here. But man, y'all show some love to Daniel as well. Let's get into this last track. We got Brink in the building. I'm in 2 warehouses, so it's taking forever. Damn. That's a lot. That is a lot. Hopefully it's worth it, man. Hopefully it's worth it. Y'all show some love. Daniel Curdy, appreciate you so much. Good night. Get some rest, man. Get some rest. We got Brink in the building. Where's Brink? Where is Brink? Dude, also, let me know if Metal Steel's in here. Metal Steel is Master of Puppets. Okay. Okay, perfect. Marv is, wait, hold on. Warren is Marv? Is it actually? Or are you just saying that so you get played? I have to know. I have to know. Brink has a full submission. So who's Brink? Okay, got to make sure because none of the names match up. I'm just trying to get some feedback from real people. This is a short song about how love isn't always enough. All right, let's get into it. This is Falling Out of Love by Brink. Let's get into it. And then we're going to move into some free. Line is closed. We'll listen like 2 or 3 really quick for whoever might still be here.
You know.
Hold on, let me pull it up over here real quick so I get a little bit more control over volume. All right, give me some details, Brink. Talk to me about production. Talk to me about the role that you play in your music. Who's mixing, who's producing, so on and so on.
We've been through a lot. Sometimes love just isn't enough.
I know, Sky. I will be. I'm live pretty much every day these days, Sky. I've gotten into a better flow. I'll be live tomorrow afternoon. Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much every day.
Running out of trust. No, I can't lie. Don't even wanna try. Sing you a lullaby. Yes, a Lord inspire. Then inspire. I just can't keep breathing.
Let's go. Let's go, Marv. Were you the one who was saying AT 2020? You bought an AT 2020?
That shit just gone missing. It's nobody's fault. Just where it lies. Don't act surprised you ain't had that same look in your eye. Got love but no trust.
30 hertz straight up on the beat.
Running out of trust. No, I can't lie.
Producer tags are always so obnoxious. Okay, I was like, wait, who said there? Who said there was a AT 2020? I got you. Got you. What DAW are you using? Let me know that too. Let's go, man. Y'all show some love. That is Falling Out of Love by Brink. Let's get into some of the details, man. So here's what I want to do. I don't, like, you were talking about technicalities earlier. My goal is not to overwhelm you with technical things that are going to be really frustrating for you to figure out. What I want to do is give you some like next steps. Like what is just the next thing that you can do to start making your music feel more palatable and make you feel more confident in what you're recording. That's what DAW. Like, what are you recording your vocals into? What are you putting the beat into? Like, is it FL Studio? Is it BandLab, GarageBand? Like whatever, Pro Tools, Logic. So GarageBand, beautiful. All right, let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details here really quick, and we'll get into it. But yeah, I want to keep it simple and just give you like, what's the next thing? The next thing that you can focus on.
I know we love each other. I know we've been through a lot, but sometimes love just isn't enough. Sometimes we don't line up, and sometimes things just don't align themselves.
One thing I do like about what you're doing is an early introduction to the vocal. I talk to people about this all the time. For those of you who don't know, I'm not going to spiel into it right now. I'll keep it short. But there is a 30-second streaming threshold for you to get paid for streams and for them to count, right? So people have to stream for 30 seconds. So I usually recommend that people introduce their vocals early. Whether you talk like you are here, say something, talk, take a deep breath, light a lighter, say yeah, grab a vocal sample from later in the song, start the song with your hook or start straight into the verse, cut the intro. Like, introducing yourself early is going to help you get a lot more streams because you're going to actually register many, many more of those streams as opposed to it being past that 30 second. Like I always say, you could have 1 million people stream your song for 28 seconds and you'll see 0 streams and $0 from it, right? You got to get people past the 30-second threshold. And introducing yourself early on as the artist, as the vocalist, so people hear what you do, they understand the vibe, is going to increase pretty dramatically the amount of people that stay for your track. I want to talk about my music, but you are not ready. Sounds good. Verseless, welcome in. Verseless, good to see you, man.
But I care about you.
Yeah, no vocal effects on there. I'm sure you can tell. Yeah. This is a completely. It's actually, you're spot on. You are actually spot on. Yeah, no vocal effects. Obviously, this is unprocessed. I'm gonna give you the 5 things I want you to focus on, and then and you'll be good to go. Okay, 5 things I want you to focus on as far as what I want you to spend all of your time learning about, understanding, learning the language of, so on and so on. Doesn't have to be crazy detailed, but if you can focus on these 5 things, dude, you'll be ready to go. Like you said, you're early on, and this is an early vocal performance that you can clean up a little bit. Don't overwhelm yourself with just like TikTok engineers and YouTubers and stuff like that talking about parallel saturation on your vocal. It's like, just get the basics down. Get the basics down, man. You'll be ready to go. I'm not worried about you.
It's a lie. Falling out of love, running out of trust.
It's a good. You do repeat this melody a couple times. Running out of love, running out of trust. It's a good repeated melody. So actually, structurally for your hook here, again, this is raw. There's nothing on here. But as far as like structure goes, as far as melody goes, you have some good consistent melodies in here. Yeah, absolutely. Forsaken, 100%. We're closed for today. We'll be live again tomorrow. But yeah, absolutely. We had a phenomenal metal track earlier, like progressive metal track earlier from Aftermath. Just a monster track. It was so good. Anyways, yeah, we get metal all the time, all genres, all styles, all levels of quality. We'll have everything from voice memos to Grammy-winning musicians. It's all over the place. So, but yeah, 100%. Any genre.
Running out of trust. No, I can't lie. Don't even wanna try. Sing you a lullaby. Yes, a lot inspired.
Now it's way back there, but there is another layer back there. What I would encourage you to do is double track those vocals. So in the middle of here, and by double track, I'll explain everything too. Like like you said, I want to get too in the weeds with it. Double track is as simple as it sounds. It's track twice. Sounds good. Sounds good. We'll be here. I'll be here tomorrow afternoon. It's as simple as it sounds. You track your vocals twice and you pan them to either side, right? So if I ever say double tracking guitars, double track a vocal, it's just that I want you to record that vocal line twice and then pan it to either side, right? There's a lot of different ways to do this and different reasons why it works well. But instead of doubling or duplicating those vocals, this would be great for your high octaves, right? So you have your running out of dun, 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 dun. Beautiful. Love that. That's a good strong lead melody here. Once you start processing it, you'll be able to clean that up a lot. And then the other side of that, you have the dun, 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 sitting in the background, right? It's like a higher falsetto in the background, doing the exact same melody. Put that all the way on the left and then track that vocal again. Just record that same layer, track it again on the right side, and you'll have this nice, wide, punchy, open vocal mix right there that'll feel a lot more engaging to listen to. Especially in this genre, it'll open it up quite a bit. It'll give you some openness that definitely needs from an early production here. Okay, let me push a little bit more.
Pretending that we ain't different, like something that we had, that shit just gone missing.
Same with those doubles in the background, right? So if you're gonna start with a dun, 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 it's gonna be really chill, really mellow. It's a pretty laid back, chill performance, which is fine, especially for this beat. I don't need this to be anything too crazy. But in the background, take those same things, right? If you're gonna have like an accent vocal, or an in and out or something like that, where you da 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 dun 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 dun, like if you have like accents that are in there, get those to the outside too. They'll sound really loud when you do that because they're isolated. You can pull them back a little bit, but the double left-right thing is gonna wake it up like crazy, right? There's pretty much every R&B record that you know and love has those stacks. It has those double vocals, right? It just adds so much energy to the mix, makes it nice and poppy, makes it nice and open. That's going to help a lot on your layers, on your hook, on your octaves. It's going to help a lot on the accents, on your verses, in and out, stuff like that. That's gonna make a huge difference. Let me skip in a little bit deeper into the song here because most of it's pretty simple. Most of your vocals like the same energy, same level the whole time. So these accents are going to help, and then I'll talk to you briefly about the 5 things I want you to focus on. Dun, dun.
I'm just tired of the lies. Let's just leave it where it
Yeah, you gotta have them in space because if you start layering and they're all stepping on each other's toes, like right in the middle, if they're all like if they're all lined up like this, right, like all of them are kind of sitting right behind each other, you're like, I don't know where to go with them. You know what I mean? Like I'm not getting the sound of layers. I'm not getting the openness. I'm not getting this pop out of the layers because they're all sitting right behind each other, right? And they're all just kind of stepping on each other's toes. You're trying to keep a powerful lead, but they're just kind of there, barely existing. But if all of a sudden you start panning them outside, you start getting one on the left, one on the right, you start to hear a harmony, you start to have it da 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 da. You start to have some other ad-libs, some other filler in there. You'll feel the song more because you can actually distinguish it in the mix because it's separated out. That'll make a huge difference. Okay, really quick before we move on to a couple quick frees. Before we can get into I'll probably do 2. I'll do 2 tonight, and we'll open up some other. We'll do a couple more from the free line tomorrow as well. So definitely make sure y'all are tapped in. Make sure that y'all are following. Make sure that you're here. But really quick, the 5 things I want you to focus on. 5 things I want you to focus on when you're starting, and this doesn't matter if you're in BandLab, GarageBand, Pro Tools, doesn't matter, Studio One, Logic, Ableton, right? The 5 things that I want you to learn really, really well. All of the fun stuff will come later, but this is just, I think this, for me, this is basics. This is where you need to start. Gain, staging, and levels, right? Obviously, how loud are things, right? Get really good at that, right? Gain, staging, and levels. Panning and positioning. Are the things left? Are they right? Are they doubled left and right? I want you to focus on EQ. So understanding filtering, frequency, understand compression, controlling dynamic range, bringing things back or controlling them or pushing them forward in the mix, and then ambiance. Ambiance is going to be, your reverbs and your delays, how you set your elements into space. Those are the 5 things I want you to focus on. Everything else is a branch off from that. Everything else, parallel compression is just controlling dynamic range on a parallel channel and feeding your signal into that, right? Side chain is side chaining compression. It's sending a signal to your compression to trigger, right? There's all these branches that are fun that are all outside of this, but I want you to get really, really good, really, really good at how loud things are. Your levels, your gain staging, where those things are positioned, panning and positioning. Get really good at understanding EQ, compression, and ambiance. Those 5 things. Don't worry about everything else. Don't worry about all the noise. Don't worry about, 10 mix tips to change your life. 10, you know what I mean? Like, don't worry about all of that. This is how I started, right? When I got in studio, the first thing that we did when I came into a studio and I was working with an audio engineer, I was training in audio engineering, is we went to a mixer board, right? And this is unfortunate because a lot of people don't have this experience and they start on DAWs, there's nothing wrong with that. All the Grammys now are on DAWs. That's fine. I'm not saying everyone needs a console. That's not what I promise you. That's not what I'm saying. The benefit of learning on a console, though, for me, was I could see right in front of me every single thing, right? I could see a compressor, and I had all the racks right there. I could see the compressor. I could take a pan knob and turn it to the left and hear everything move to that speaker. Turn it to the right and hear it move to that speaker. I could push a fader forward and hear it. I push a fader forward and it get louder. Pull it back and it got quieter. I could, all of that stuff. I could do all of that right there. And it was right there in front of me to see, right? Which is a huge benefit. It's a huge benefit for people that if you're starting on a DAW, it can be confusing because you have to add all of those things in yourself and hope that it makes sense. But I want to talk to you about, sorry, I'm getting confused. I'm trying to read through the chat too. Focus on, again, gain staging and levels, panning and positioning. They're kind of the same thing in there, right? EQ, compression, and ambiance. Ambiance is just how you set it into space. If you get those down and you do that with your stock plugins, you do that with GarageBand, you can get phenomenal mixes with that. That's all you need to understand. Everything else is a branch from that. Everything else is a secondary and peripheral to that. If you get those down, you're gonna be locked in. Y'all show some love, man. Show some love to Marv. Marv, you got a bright future in front of you. You've got a bright future in front of you. You're talented. You obviously have an understanding of song structure, which is necessary. It's vital. You have an understanding of melody and repetition of melody, which is vital. So now I want you to get really good at those 5 things. And in tandem to that, you'll start to be like, okay, when I'm looking at my background vocals, I'm going to think about how loud they are. I'm going to think about where they are positioned, where they're panned. Do they need to be compressed? Do they need to be filtered and EQ'd? And then do I want ambiance? Do I want reverbs, delays, and effects on there to set them into space? How much space? How big is the space? Stuff like that. If you get that done, you'll be ready to go. All right, 2 tracks. 2 tracks really quick. 2 tracks really quick, and we're out of here. We're out of here. Let me clear this really quick. Shout out to Brink and shout out, that's Marv right here. Thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate that so much. I already got the 2 tracks loaded up. Might be kind of low quality because I recorded it all on my phone. Okay, first 2 minutes. Let's get into it. This is Metal Steel, The Teeth of the Plague. Let's go. And then, Liette, you're going to close this out today. I'm going to close it up with you. I'll find yours. So it's literally like a voice memo, like recorded in your phone there. Thank you for the rose. I appreciate you. And thank you for the claps. Liette, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for the gifts, y'all. Tell me what you do. Tell me what you do in this. Is it on Spotify? Or it's a different one in the list? It's a different one in the list? Let's go. Okay.
Blood breath.
Do you ever record into something, or are you just using the phone right now? And let me know what kind of computer you have. Okay. All right, y'all show some love, show some love. That is Teeth of the Plague by Metal Steel. That is the master of puppets right here in the chat. Okay, briefly, here's the thing. I mentioned this at the very beginning of the track. When you have the ability to capture, even cheaply, when you have the ability to capture, you have control. When you have control, you can make things good or bad or make interesting production decisions, right? The next step for you is we've got to be able to have some control over this, whether you're recording everything individually just through the phone microphone, or you get the cheapest interface that you can find on Facebook Marketplace. You trade someone some bread that you baked for a cheap mic, on whatever you got to do, right? You get cheap stuff, you make it work. Even the cheapest thing that you can possibly find is going to give you control, right? You obviously understand dynamics. I'm hearing dynamic stops. You know when to, place your vocal in there. You can obviously play guitar. I can hear what you're doing. The palm mutes are great. What you have there, but there's no distinction. There's no clarity, right? So what I want you to focus on is your North Star is the ability to capture. Even if you do that with the cheapest, half-broken thing you can find, you've got to be able to capture your stuff so that you have control over it. Once you have control over it, you can balance it. That'd be my suggestion for you. Y'all show some love. Teeth of the Plague by Metal Steel. You obviously have an understanding of the genre and the understanding of what you do, but nothing is going to matter unless you have the ability to capture and control. Because that's going to be the way that we can hear what's going on at all, right? That'd be the thing. Yeah, that'd be the thing. Get something super cheap. Get a used Behringer interface for $50. Get a used MXL 990 on eBay for $50. Boom, you're done. You know what I mean? Like, get that right there. Plug it into any computer, and at least be able to track direct with the guitars. And even if you're pulling up VST drums and fake drums and whatever, you'll have some control, and it's going to make a huge difference. Because once you get that, then we can hear what's going on. That's a different story. That's a different story. But you obviously have an understanding of the genre. All right, let's close it out. Next is Liette. Let me find it on here because I think there's a different song on here. So give me 1 second. There's like 40 submissions. Let me see. Let me see. And also let me know if it's under a different name just in case. Oh, it was early. It was early. Let me see. There it is. And you want... There's Tip of My Tongue. And Medicine. Beautiful. Medicine. All right, let's get into it. This is Liette right here in the chat. Let's get it. Let's pull it up really quick. And is it Mayor or Major? Let me know. Or something else. I want to make sure that I get your name correct. All right, this is Medicine by Liette. Let's dive in. Quick notes on what you did in the song really quick. Oh, you do everything perfect. I already love those melodies.
I miss who I was before you. 'Cause the more that I love you, the less that I love me. And I hate how much of myself I gave up for you.
Perfect. Thank you.
In the hope that one day I'd be your priority. But I think that I might be more in love with the idea of love. More in love with the idea of what I thought you could be. Turns out that you're not. Where do we go from here, love? Nothing's ever your fault. All the times that you hurt me are somehow caused by me, but I believe we can fix this. You tell
Great
me
repetition,
that we
great melodies.
can't. Maybe you don't really
Awesome.
want to. Maybe one day you can love me more than you I hate feeling I'm lost on my own. When did I let myself become your haunted shadow? When did
Cool
I
production
replace
too.
my spine with you as my backbone? I forget how to soothe myself without your help, though. But I think that I might be more in love with the
Yo,
idea
show
of
some
what-
love. Show some love. Show some love. Yeah, that is Liette Major. The song is called Medicine. It is out on all platforms. Go stream it, go like it, go add it to your playlist. Show them some love and support. Go show that. You've been so patient today. You've been so generous with your time, so generous with the gifts. I appreciate it so much. So y'all definitely show some love to Liette. Go and stream the song. The only thing that I would, one quick note, because it's actually a beautiful production. It's a pretty damn good mix as well. It's a really, really nice production. It's interesting, great dynamics, great mix on most of these elements here. I'm assuming you're pretty close to the microphone. So the only thing that I would say is watch your proximity and your diffusion to the microphone, just because you are getting a bit of extra sibilance and plosive. So kind of boominess, some sharpness in the S's and T's, which usually just means there's not a ton of diffusion of the vocal. It's perfectly valid to get closer to the microphone, especially, occasionally. It's a tiny little booth, but I'll keep, 100%. So if you're getting really close, there's less room for those, the air and the wind on the diaphragm to diffuse, right? So even just moving back 2-3 inches and then moving the pop filter back with you. So if you're recording with the pop filter, don't have it too close to the microphone, back it off of the microphone with your vocal a couple more inches, and that'll help diffuse one of the few things that you can hear in the mix, which is some of the harshness and some of the like over energy happening early on. But otherwise, man, beautiful mix. It's a great song structure. You have an awesome voice. You also some love to Liette. That's going to get us out of here. Love and appreciate every single one of y'all. Jake Songs, thank you for the follow. Thank all of y'all. I appreciate y'all more than you'll know. Thank you for the love. The music's been amazing today. Thank y'all for 12,000 followers as well. I know that's not like some crazy number or anything like that, but I greatly appreciate it. I do not take that for granted. So thank y'all so much for tapping in and having, for some of y'all that have been here for, 3.5 years already. I appreciate it more than y'all know. Love y'all. We'll be live again tomorrow afternoon. So follow or subscribe on YouTube, Twitch, or TikTok. And we'll be live again tomorrow early afternoon. Hopefully we'll see y'all very, very soon. Peace. Love y'all.